Spoon television. Spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, moreover, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Fundraising, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat keep on graduate, my brother, to spoon. You got a Spoon TV, you got a Spoon Radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you about today?
Spoon TV.
Yes, what you about today?
Spoon TV. Spoon Spoon entertainment.
Go to
Yes, what you information. To the spoon to be Spoon television.
Yes, I true party
Yes, sir. A special one from the CEO, Stanton with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, moreover, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Fundraising, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat keep on graduate, my brother, to spoon. You got a Spoon TV, you got a Spoon Radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, Rastafari. What I want? Yes, I do, but
School TV. School.
yes, I do, but
Okay, folks. It's a pleasure to be here with you again on another edition of your premier nighttime show in Liberia. Wherever you are and whatever you are doing, it's always a pleasure to sit in here to produce this phone talk, your most informative and analytical talk show. My name is Yekezi Zobel, and of course, let's join the team there to kickstart the show. James, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Yekezi Zobel. How you doing?
I mean, you're not pronouncing my name right. It's not Zobel.
I get down. That my business. I get down for you.
Yeah. So it's Zogbe, not Zogbe. Otherwise, I get
Yekezi
Zogbe.
Zogbe.
Of course.
I got it right.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Yekezi Zogbe. How you doing, bro?
I'm okay. How yourself, bro?
God money me. We are managing, at least by His grace. We are able to see another day and to be here.
Sure.
So, what's popping? I'm told you just returning to Monrovia.
Yes, of course. I just returned about let's say two hours ago now. I returned to Monrovia from Grand Bassa County, where the what? I didn't hear you.
I said you went to pay Dare.
I got it, boy. Yeah, so I had gone there to attend a workshop that was organized by FIJA, the Female Journalists Association of Liberia, and sponsored by Internews, USIT, and other partners. And the workshop was all about gender-sensitive reporting.
Yeah, I think I spoke to somebody from there. Were you part of the journalists who spoke to former Foreign Minister Finney?
No. I came early. I came ahead.
No, I'm talking about yesterday after your workshop. Few journalists spoke to him regarding this information about Cummins picking him.
I wasn't part of that.
Oh, okay. I spoke with few of the journalists who spoke to him.
Yeah, to talk a little bit about the workshop, is a very important workshop. There is about gender sensitive reporting, how to it was intended to increase journalist knowledge on how to portray both men and women equally and fairly in the news content, especially so as we gear towards the pending elections. So it was a very, very beneficial workshop for journalists, and I hope all those who attended the workshop can go back to their various newsrooms and share the knowledge they obtained from there. But trending in Liberia currently today.
Let's stay with that workshop a bit. I think I attended a couple of workshops that were organized by Internews, specifically on what you're talking about. We went to Bikena, we went to Tottenham, and where we went? We went to Sinje. I think Sinje is in Grand Kidmore County. We went there. We attended several of those. And yesterday, anyway, maybe you left and you were rushing to go find food to eat. After the workshop yesterday.
were served at the workshop. We were served
But
breakfast.
man,
We were
you
served
still gotta go eat by. Give
at
me
the workshop.
story.
What do you must do, man?
Yeah, so after your workshop yesterday, Efine attended. Bezonga Fine came at the workshop,
Attended
right?
what?
I mean,
No,
he
no.
visited, but
No,
you did not see him there.
it's probably no. I didn't see him there. Probably the journalist went to his office or to his home,
Yeah, so
or where they got in contact with him, but not at
yeah,
the
some of them
uh,
spoke with him
the place.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, go ahead, Papa. How many days you spend there?
I went there Tuesday. Yeah, I was there since Tuesday.
And Grand Bassa
It was
County
a
is
3-day work.
good. Socially, Bassa is
Yeah,
good.
Grand Bassa County is lively. Yeah, socially is good. It's good, and it's a place. It's a place.
It's a place to be. Eh? I know you're going back. I know you have to go there for a weekend.
Well, if it's necessary, definitely, I will go there. Yeah, look at it, boy. Okay, so let's bring other trending happenings
Yeah, go ahead.
in the country. So today, Bekugbe, President Weah toured and inspected 2 recreational projects in Clara Town and the PHP community. Firstly, in the PHP community, the president toured and inspected the ongoing United Park project. And he later toured and inspected as well the ongoing Survivors Park project in the Clara Town area. And the president was taken on the tour by the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, who happens to be G. Wisa Blamo, and the Minister of State without portfolio, Chokon Hui, who also is the head of all, who also heads all presidential projects. But speaking during the tour, President Weah expressed confidence, that Liberians will have him re-elected, due to the level of development initiatives he's undertaking.
I beg you.
And he
I
is
did not
still,
understand. I did not understand your network. You were like breaking in. I only got a part where you said
okay.
Chokopui. Besides Chokopui, I did not get the other part. You freeze from my.
Yeah, so I'm saying the president was taken on the tour by the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, Wisa Blamo, and the Minister of State without portfolio, Chokonkwe.
Okay.
And at the end of the tour, the president spoke to reporters, and he expressed confidence that, Liberians will have him re-elected due to the level of development stats.
But who said it will not re-elect him? Is that he's seeing something now?
Yeah. So the president actually said, he said, if Liberians can re-elect him in 2017 when he had done nothing for them, then what more about now that he not do something for Liberians? Yeah, those were his actual words. So he said, if 2017 he didn't do anything for Liberians, they voted for him. They, entrusted him with the presidency. Then what more about now that he has undertaken, projects in most parts of the country? So he expressed confidence that Liberians, will overwhelmingly, having voted. And he said he doesn't have time for what people say. In fact, he said he's not a politician. According to him, he was brought to power by the Liberian people to seek their interests. So he's a focused person. He doesn't care about what politicians are saying or who'd say about him. And also, as you may know, the CPP, since the CPP was formed in 2022. Okay. Yeah. So since the formation of the CPP for the first time, they are having a convention, and the convention began today in Gompa City, Nimba County. And we understand that several delegates, about 500 delegates, are expected to attend that convention. And the gathering will see delegates kind of deliberate and decide on the forward march of the CPP and at that convention. They will be officially electing the standard bearer of the CPP. And we are also hearing that at that convention, I think it was a Daily Observer that reported that. Yeah, it was a Daily Observer that reported that at that convention, the CPP may, Alexander Cummings may name his running mate, and that person may be Charlie Bromsky, the daughter of the late Councillor Charles Bromsky. Yeah, so far so good. Those are some of the major happenings in the country. James, are you there? James, you are muted.
You getting me now? I'm okay.
Good.
Yeah, regarding the CPP's press conference, how you call it, convention. Yeah, I changed the date. The date is now the 12th. Check it out. You have to go by and come. You'll see the correct date. Yeah, I don't know. I did not really watch their convention. I saw a little video where a friend of mine tagged me, and as soon as I got there, it was almost over. But some of them said the actual convention will start tomorrow. Today was just the opening ceremony. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, they said,
I said
the actual. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, they said the actual convention starts tomorrow. Today was just the opening ceremony, but the thing I saw from that opening ceremony is not encouraging. And I hope they work it up that it becomes very successful. You cannot, like,
What did you say?
like they told
You don't want to
us,
leave the people in.
like they told us that if your Christmas will be, if your Christmas will be good, you will know from the Eve. I saw that opening ceremony. It was poorly attended, and yeah, they will argue that delegates are still on their way coming. That's another case.
You were watching from a video, James.
Eh?
You were just watching from a video footage.
Yeah, but you know where I watched it from? I watched a live where they were in.
So
I don't know.
you can say for sure. You can base on that on just the video footage and say that it was poorly attended.
I
That
mean, what
video
I
footage-
saw, the event where the political leader was speaking, that particular session, and it was like a living room, or how you call it, maybe a little place where they were. That very place, bro. What I saw there, maybe it was just intended to say, let's welcome our political leader, and today everybody just come and greet and go. Maybe that just meet and greet they were having today. But if they will continue like that, I don't see any better turnout. The last convention I attended regarding members of the CPP was the Liberty Party convention. We attended there some part of 2022, and it was also attended, though it was a special convention, but we had a good set of people who attended. That convention was headed by Chairman Musa Berete. And now there are two political parties coming together, mind you. So all of those parties, they will have to showcase that strength. I'm told on Sunday or tomorrow at the end, they are expected to do a parade. So we are waiting to see that crowd, or we are waiting to see pictures from there to show that the CPP is ready. You know, Yekezi in Liberia doing political season, during political year, most especially we have about let's say roughly 5 to 6 months to go. When you're having a convention, you know how it should be attended. You've been following political activities. These political parties will do everything they can for you who watching to know that yes, they are up for something now, up for play. But again, they will argue that today was just the
Yeah, I mean,
introduction,
like
the
said,
introduction of
today
it.
was
Yeah,
like
so tomorrow we will be hoping that the
probably
CPP,
there are people,
yeah,
a lot of
this
people arriving.
yeah, the CPP will show that strength, that crowd. They are two political parties, two very big parties. You have the Liberty Party that ended up to, I think, third during the last election, during the last presidential election, and Cummings has 7%. That 7% may have increased to maybe 8, 10, 12, 15, or whatever number, or decrease. So they should be able to do that. We're hoping to see it coming up. And you talk about Daniel ever reporting that they may, it is confirmed, the Cummings will not name his running mate there. He will not name his running mate at the end of the convention. He will name his running mate in Monrovia. Uh, they will announce a specific date for that, but this is just a convention where they will elect other candidates that will represent them during the presidential and legislative elections. So a vice running mate will not be named. That is confirmed. I spoke with a couple of them. They confirmed it. They said Cummings will not name anybody there. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So we expect to see the CPP's convention it goes well because as a matter of fact, it's something that you cannot take from them. They are one of the three biggest political parties in the country currently. You were talking about, either Mr. Alexander Cummings' percentage in the previous election,
Yeah, he got
uh,
120,000 plus.
increasing or decreasing. But from the look of things, because Mr. Alexander Cummings had, come in less than 2 years prior to the 2017 elections, and he was able to accumulate 7% of the vote. And most of those who rejected or were opposed to the ideology of Mr. Alexander Cummings becoming president at that time were of, the perception that he just came. He just came. So since the 2017 election, a lot has changed. Mr. Alexander Cummings has been around, for a very long time, and he has been very, 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 very consistent. In the
Arguably, I think he's the most outstanding former presidential candidate who has been touring the
very
entire
vocal,
yeah.
very. He's been very,
Yeah,
very
he has been
vocal.
very proactive.
Yeah. So a lot might have changed from 2017 until now. So we expect that the convention be successful, but also the running mate issue is something that is also going to have an impact. Yeah, and we are looking forward to the CPP to announce that running mate very soon. All of the gossips that I
Yeah.
kind of circulating on social media,
Yeah.
we hope that CPP can acquire them, very, very, very soon.
And Yekezi, while we're waiting for the team to come on, right? Let's do our part. When they come, we give them a chance. Like yesterday, the entire show was dedicated to Cummings. Cummings had a show
It
yesterday.
was
Huh?
Cummings had a show.
Yeah.
I did you.
You did not
It,
follow
it, it, it,
yesterday.
it, it was
Yesterday was all Cummings Day.
All Cummins Day. That was the tag of the show.
Yeah, everyone who came on the show came from the
Okay, that's why.
CPP.
Yeah, okay. I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah,
I understand.
yeah. So everything they said yesterday, you know, it came from the CPP. So, Yekezi, while we are waiting the team to come on, I think they are getting prepared to come on, including the team that was on yesterday. Uh, the CPP, let's be frank, politics, not just limited to Liberia, but everywhere, even during the kingship or in a monarch or whatever you may term it, you still need it. The CPP has been going through a lot, and they are still going through a lot. And what I just got, that will also create serious setback for them. Remember the last time they announced on the same platform that they decided to go after Yombly. That is to have her on their side, right? What I'm getting that Yombly is about to turn her entire support to JNB. All right, the team will talk about that. But in politics, you go for people who are well known, people who have the number. Politics is number. They're not church where the pastor will get two, three, four person. You dare to seek crest. But in politics, you dare to get a number. But now the names that came out, a majority of those people have backed off. I'm worried. I'm worried for Mr. Cummins, not because he's going to the presidential election, but I'm worried for him because he may likely end up getting somebody. Yeah, getting. You ready? Okay, when you're ready, come on. I'm worried for Mr. Cummins because he may likely end up getting somebody who may likely be competent. Yes, who will have Liberia at heart, or they will say they may get a country at heart, or they will not get a country at heart in our Liberian way, but they may not have that number. And he may likely end up becoming the lone hero on his ticket. Like, for example, the JNB ticket, Senator Kun alone is able to bring not less than 100,000 people. Oh, yeah. Welcome. I think he's on the phone. So Senator Kun alone is able to bring on board over 100,000 voters to Unity Party. Let's just take Nimba County for an example. The last time Prince Johnson got over 120,000 votes. So if majority of those in Nimba will go for Senator Kun, he's able to bring at least not less than 100,000 voters to JNB, and then JNB with his pick and drop, he can conclude to a certain number. But if Cummins end up getting somebody like Charlie Branskin, who's she going to bring on board? If Yombly goes to Unity Party, and then she now will be directed to Cummins, who's she going to carry? So Cummins has to be very strategic in getting somebody. Yeah, welcome, former CEO.
Thank you very much. Thank you, James Good. The flow mode, Yekezi Zogwe. Yekezi Zogwe from Nimba County. You understand? We say how you say that? You taught me the last time. I'm trying to remember right now. Babwa Aho Ideme Ihu man, not you, Yekezi. And you taught me Mano. And you said Mano, how you say? Greet me, Mano, again.
Ito,
and you say Ma, right?
Koma.
So Koma. You say I'm getting it. The reason why I'm getting this, Iremi, great, welcome, thank you for joining us, is because we have the counselor the people's counselor, the man that's going to sweep corruption out of Liberia, the poor man lawyer, they say in Liberia, poor man lawyer, the man that fought for the release of so many young men and women in the country, Councillor Tewon said Gongloe. I think it's say, if I'm mistaken. He gonna get very with me again. Oh wow, that middle name I gotta find out middle name Tewon. I said Tewon because how will you pronounce it, Yekezi? How will you pronounce his name exactly, Councillor Gongloe name?
Tewon.
Oh, Tewon. Okay, I'm from the other side of the river, so I would try with it. But a lot of folks don't consider Gongloe going through social media, YouTube, Remy Gray. It's going to be something interesting tonight. I should tell you this. You can find us on Spoon Talk. Spoon Talk is on YouTube, Fabric TV, Super TV, Spoon TV. Fabric 101.5, Super 95.5, and Spoon 107.5. We are blessed to bring you a good show tonight. We are so glad to have Councillor Gongloe as our guest. Councillor Gongloe is here in the United States attending programs. We will talk about it. We will give him the chance to speak on those programs. Councillor Gongloe, again, going to make the case to the Liberian people. This is not free, of course, because it's election season. Everybody must pay. So we'll do our best to balance the discussion out. Councillor Gongloe will tell you why you should vote for him. Councillor Gongloe comes to speak to the entire country right now why he is the better candidate in the race. Not George Weah, not Jose Yemabuaka, not Edizana Cummings, who is having a convention in Councillor Gongloe backyard. The man said, I'm going to go in your backyard and have my convention. Folks, share the program. It's going to be crazy tonight, but it will be good crazy. Let me welcome my brother, retired corner, Edward or Ed Remy Gray. My brother, thank you. How you doing today?
I'm fine, my brother. It's good to be here because Councillor Tiawan Say Gongloe and myself, we have a long history of friendship, and ever since I've known him, he has carried on with that same demeanor. I've never seen him getting angry. I wonder if that side of him exists. But I look for a healthy discussion. That does not mean I will not grill him. I will grill him to the letter, because that's what he's prepared for. That's what he was built for. I've seen him in low and high times, and always balance his composure. And so we look forward to having a fruitful discussion, my brother. On the other side, of course, the Alternative National Congress, along with the CPP. I saw some pomp and pageantry. They are parading Miss Charlene Bronskin, and maybe that will not be today's discussion, but maybe in passing we can talk about it and look into her profile as well, who she is. But it's a good day. I hope my brother Fangon will be around. I'm not sure. Maybe I saw like he was complaining about some illness, but you'll probably keep us abreast.
Fagon will be on the show. You'll soon be joining us. Salamatu, the new Condoleezza Rice. Our callers are crazy. They call her Condoleezza Rice. But she will be joining us. Salamatu, actually, she's running late. Fadika will be here in studio. Dr. Richardson is attending a graduation ceremony, so she's off tonight. Who else out there? Abba, we don't know about Abba, but I don't know whether he's coming. But that's it. We'll have a great show. I just want to say you've been knowing Councillor Gongloe. It's super, but it's something about Councillor Gongloe that Liberians need to know more of him. They already know him, but they need to know more of him about policy, right? They already know that he will fight corruption. Then all the other little things that will come into place, we need to expose him more, even more on the international outlets. What do you think? We got about 30 seconds, I mean, a minute to bring him on. What do you think?
I think he's grounded in Liberian politics in terms of civil struggle. The reason why he's known for being a Pullman lawyer is the fact that he has always been in the forefront, the vanguard. I'm not sure whether I can link him directly to the progressive, but he also bears our pedigree because Teron Gongloe is the guy who maybe
You
because
think,
of
and then I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I would do it real quick. Do you think that ANC again makes an opportunity in Tewan Gonglo, or do you think Tewan Gonglo makes an opportunity not going along with ANC, the CPP now? Then we'll bring in Councillor Gonglo. Real quick from you.
a lot of times you would like to see like mind coming together on a political ticket. But one thing about these people, they also have their own individual philosophies and their own character. So maybe characteristically, two people can align, and we should also respect that. And who knows? Maybe one of them, reach to the other, and then they say, "Hey, we're not aligned," and it's their respective right not to align one way or the other. So I think in terms of missing opportunity, those two candidates would have been very beautiful to be on one ticket, Taiwan and Mr. Cummins, or vice versa. Um, so it's a lost opportunity. I will agree with you on that because they share some level of decency and integrity, and I think they would have complemented each other. But hey, they know their differences as well.
Right. Our time is up. We're going to be bringing in Councillor Gonglo. I mean, before I do that, when the guest is here, I don't like to bring somebody with the exception of Salamatu. I'm going to bring in former Deputy Minister Eugene Lamin Fagon. Minister Fagon, real quick, because I have to bring in the councillor. He's seated, he's ready. Taiwan is our guest. Councillor Gonglo is our guest. Real quick, your 30 seconds before I bring him on.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Iremi Gray, and good evening, Yekezi. Zwogbe, is that it? That's it. I think Tiawan is an astute gentleman. He's a statesman of good quality. He's a legal scholar and luminary. He's an erudite professor, so to speak. And he's referred to by many as the poor man lawyer. And I am a witness to that part of his life. We had a situation with a gentleman from Kari by the name of Joma. And I think he saw the role I played because both of us were in the room with that so-called supervisor. And we're happy that the gentleman has gone back to work, but they were not able to pay him all his money. They still have not settled with him. So we know for a fact that, with people like Tewa around, such things will not happen. And I think I look forward to having a great exchange with him. Hopefully he's going to help the Liberian people understand that nothing is more important than getting rid of this individual that have posed a serious national, socio-economic, and political risk to our country. So I look forward to a healthy exchange.
Is the birds are chirping? Are they from your end? You got, and then I'm hearing. By the way,
yeah, they are my friends. They are right.
Yeah, the birds are your friends, right?
Yeah,
I'm hearing them in the.
I'll close my window just shortly. I just wanted some fresh air.
Oh, you can invite them on the show. We'll take them.
But they're already there, and you're complaining about them.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll open the phone line today. It's the must that you must speak to Councillor Tewan Gonglo. You must speak to the poor man lawyer. It will be good for you to ask him your question, why he chose to run by himself and for his party. Why he couldn't join Joseph Yiman Boyka or Alexander Cummings. What was the problem? Why Councillor Gonglo within himself believe that He cannot join anybody else. Those people refuse to join him. Listen, this is an open conversation. Get yourself ready. We're going to make you ask your question to the poor man lawyer. All right? Let's bring in Councilor Tewan Say Gongloe. As our guest tonight, we're going to bring him on the show. Councilor Gongloe, how you doing? How you doing? God bless you. Good to see you as always. Thank you for joining Spoon Talk tonight.
Well, thank you for pronouncing my name. I think you got an A this evening. You got Tewan Say Gongloe correctly. Thank you.
Thank you.
And it's good to see Remy Gray, the former Army scholar and now retired Army scholar, the Free Thinkers. I still remember him. He belonged to a group called the Free Thinkers. He said he was not aligned with any political group, but he wanted to think freely, to be able to criticize and to support different individuals in Liberia. And they had a whole group called the Free Thinkers Group. I still remember. And the last time I saw him was in Robertsport when he was working with, I think, executive something, or working with the government of Liberia during Ellen time, part of the UNDP program, if I'm not wrong. And then Eugene Fagon reminds me of being my 12th Street boy way back in the 80s. He reminded me, I was a teaching assistant at the University of Liberia in 1982, and he was living on 12th Street. He said, "What are the little boys there?" I said, "Well, you know, the young people always remember the older ones." We have good relationship when he was at Information Ministry. Yes, we work on Dr. Joma's case. Incidentally, when I was traveling to the States, Joma and myself met at the airport. He was now going back to Ibadan. They were going to honor him. They were going to officially award his PhD degree, and he was going there with his wife. So right now he's in Nigeria. Thank you for the effort. At least, you know, it is said that truth crushed to the ground will rise again. So in the end, his fight was successful. He spent days out there on hunger strike. Even people, his relatives, were saying, you know, why don't you stop it? Well, he will be remembered for standing up against injustice, because in the end, he succeeded. And he should stand as a role model for a lot of Liberians, not to give up so easily, you know. There's no gain without pain. Yeah. But thank you for hosting me this evening. I first want to thank all Liberians in America who have been calling back home and telling their people to support me. I felt it when I went to over 300 towns in 13 counties, in Bojese town, in Riverside, was saying, oh, that the other council of Gongloe here, our people in America say must support him. That's in Riverside. In Boajiken, I was told the same thing. In Bogeza, in Boajiken, in Grand Cru, in Bogeza, in Lofakande, I was told the same thing. In Wangeko, in Wangeko, in Cape Mama, everybody was sweeping. They said, hey, that is man here. And they say, that the government official that come to the town, we're not going to come here because these government officials sat down there and B Mountain has contaminated our soil, contaminated our water, and EPSA, B Mountain didn't do anything but we will not drink the water and use it the same way we used to use it. Say that the government. So everywhere I've gone, people have told me, the people in America heard your message and they have called us in our village to vote for you. Whether it's in Herrington, in Bapulo County, or in Budota, in Bon County, I heard the same story everywhere. So it's like, you know, now I've gone to over 300 towns. I know that the people there are also calling their children in America and say, this is the man we support. I'm happy about the work I've done so far. The reception is great. People are telling me in all the villages I went to, thank you, that our first time seeing presidential aspirant. We never know how presidential aspirant look. They can only, when they come to Nimba, they can only go to Ganta, Sanigole, Kample, Ban, Saklepe, and Tapata. One, I think I called chairman called me the other day, Lieutenant Kamara, and said, Councilor Gongloe, where are you? He told you I achieved so much. I said, why you say where I am? He said, I'm in Nimba, where are you? I said, where in Nimba did you go? He said, everywhere. I said, where did you go? He named the same towns I named. I said, did you go to Buto? He said, no. I said, you want to Bilage? He said, no. You want to Gable? He said, no. I said, you want to Zigapa? He said, no. I said, you want to Berale, the cry area? He said, no. I said, but when you talking about you've been everywhere, because those are the cities. I strongly believe that if you want to be president of Liberia, you must go to the interior where life is so challenging. See the conditions under which people are living, because you cannot solve a problem that you don't know. And that is why, as an advocate for good governance and the elevation of the life of the people, I decided to go everywhere, including one interesting thing I always talk about, George, when I go on the radio, President Weah. There's a town in Riverside County called Pakwai Town. It's about 35 minutes upstream the Sanctions River, and that's where the Sanctions River enters the sea. So it's so violent, and you go upstream. So if you actually go on an ordinary road, you go like 4 hours. But I went on a rented motorized Fanti Kino, and it took me 35 minutes to go upstream. When I entered that town, the elders, old men there said, why you came to our town? Even the superintendents don't come here. The lawmakers don't come here. No politician ever come here our town. There's no road to this town. The only way to come here is to come by Kino. And my answer was swift. I said, oh man, I want to be president for all Liberians. The one living in Chester City, the one living in Buchanan, the one living in Monrovia, and the one living across the river upstream. So that's why I came to see the conditions under which people are living. Then he said to me, do you know this is the home of the current president, late mother Annie? Annie came from Pakwai Town here. But the president, when he was running campaign, he didn't come here. And since he's been president, he had not come here. So when I came back, I got on the radio, I said, President George, I got one thing over you. I went to your mother's town. I'm calling upon you at least to make them feel that they brought forth a child who born president. So go that the conditions in Pakwai Town are very, very bad. They have a little school they built themselves with stake, makeshift school. I would be very happy if George Weah were to listen to me as president and go to Pakwai Town. He's able to get a good motorized boat, a very good boat to go upstream. Let him go there, even spend a night there. Let the people feel him, But he hasn't done that. I've been all over, and the people are very, very happy. My message is clear. I tell them, look, I want to be a president that will make sure that the roads are maintained. The roads in the interior, Remy, man, especially Southeastern Liberia, very bad. There's no way you can go now from Monrovia to Kipamos without spending 2 weeks on a highway. And 1979, as a student leader at the University of Liberia, I went to Maryland. I left Maryland 6 o'clock in the morning. By 9 o'clock in 1979, I was in Monrovia. It used to be that way. The roads were not paved, but they were well maintained. There were public areas along the road. Ganta, Betu, Tapata, Tota, Kanweke, people like that. And the roads were maintained. People used to go 70 miles an hour on the road. The only thing during dry season, the dust used to be too much, but the roads were good. We never heard that even rainy season, the roads cut over in Tapata. So the roads are not maintained. Look, the worst experience I had on the bad roads all over Liberia was in Southeastern Liberia. First in Tiamat Town, Putu Tiamat Town. When I was speaking to the people, I said, but why are the roads so bad? Because to leave from Zuetu to reach Putu Tiamat Town, so many muddy areas are passed. I talking to the people, I said, but the president from Southeast, one little boy told me, Counselor, I'm not disrespecting you, shut up. The whole government is from Southeast. And that little boy named over 10 top government officials. He said, the minister from here, the central bank governor from here, he named all those people. He said, so what are you talking about? The project neglected us. We want to see themselves. Then I left from there. I went to Kilipo Kanweken. Kilipo Kanweken is where the late Minister of Justice, Frederick Cheru, was born. And that's where Councilor Nimba, one of the celebrated lawyers who dean of law school, was also born. So I finished talking to a point in Kilipo Kanweken, and I know normally, because I've been on that road, it's 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes from Kilipo Kanweken to Gwepo Kanweken. I left. I sent a motorcyclist ahead and said, tell the people I'll be there 6 o'clock. Man, Stanton, as soon as I left, I saw a little mud there. And I said, oh, I took shovel. If you see me, I was cleaning. I thought I would joke. We left from there. The next mud we saw was long with over 20 trucks and tankers packed. So we couldn't pass by them. I rolled up my sleeve, took off my shoes, crossed the mud, and went to wait for my car. You guys, there were 4-wheel jeeps. The drivers were good. I thought they would find a way out. No way. Until 12:30 at night, somebody came and woke me. I didn't even know that I passed out on the highway. Snake could have bitten me. I didn't know. They woke me up at 12:30. Our cars are finally crossed. When we got to Bible weekend, the people are all going to bed 1 a.m. in the morning. We had to go to a place called Drucker to sleep. So if you have a road like that, and I was lying down before I slept, I said, so by road, if you have a road like this, it causes insecurity. What if Africans attack us now? It's not even happening now, but our soldiers coming, they will be defeated right at this mud because you cannot, move. You know about that, Remy. And then if you have a very good hospital in Bipokan weekend, people are coming from Kilipokan weekend, the ambulance will bring them, they will die right at that mud. On the other hand, if you are in Webo or Plibo or in Maryland or Wajiken or Belwan in Grand Cru, and you are bringing your goods to the market, let's say you have a planting farm to take care of your family, to get out of poverty, you harvest your planting, you ask one businessman or you go to the Susu club and say, y'all give me money to to pay for truck to carry my planting to Gorbachev. I'll pay your money next week. When you reach that mud between Kilipo-Kanweke and Bepo-Kanweke, you will stay there for 10 days and your planting will get rotting. When it happens, then you have become poorer. So I stayed there, I said, but this government is multiplying poverty. Because even how hard people work on their farm, they could
Hey, Councillor, how can you multiply poverty?
Because you see,
of poverty.
But listen now, you carry your goose over there, you finish working hard a whole year, you get your finish harvesting your planting or banana, you reach there, the banana get rotting. The money you borrow to pay for that truck, when you go back, you can't pay. Your savings you have, you give all to the Suzu Club.
But so let's start the program now. Let's start the program, Councillor. Let me ask you some question on that.
You might even sell all your other things, then you become poorer. And this
let me ask.
multiplication of poverty.
So let me ask you a question. They call the president biomedicine. Okay, we understand why. Okay, biomedicine. The city men have done extremely well with roads. All the Jade roads, and we say Jade, all the road beyond is Zane houses, then the men took care of it. Okay, you'll get your terms. That's fine. I want the Liberian people to listen to us. All the 1 roads, all the one leading to the swamp, all the one leading to the beaches, everywhere they say the men are biomedicine. When the road see the men, the road tremble. And you say the men multiplying poverty because the road is so bad. What are you bringing forth to be different from George Man and we are now? Will you become biomedicine too?
Let me say this, because he didn't grow up in the interior like me, he probably didn't know how the people did it in the past. Topman, when he took over, he went by road, the towing hammer from Carrisburg all the way to Kipamas. And he made promise in 1944 that, listen, the next time I come to Kipamas, I will come by car in the motor vehicle. When he went back between 1944 and 1952, he built a road up to Kipamas with the help of the U.S. Army. Now, he put probably where he had along the road, one in Ganta, one in Puerto, another one in Tapeta, one in Tota, one in Kanweke, then the other one in Plibo. During dry season, when I would grow up in Tapeta, we used to see the ones coming from Puerto and the one Tapeta, they rehabilitated the road because the rain would destroy the road. They will rehabilitate the road and lay the gutters to prepare for the next rainy season. They will do the same thing on the Zwedru Road. I never heard one day that Zwedru Road was cut off. So they did that. That idea will carry on by October up to due time. This government has not restored that idea. Honor Ellen Ome was there. So when Ellen left, and they said they were coming to change for hope, these were the conditions that they met. And they could have gone back to the old idea. So when you have good ideas, you bring it back. The old good idea of putting public work yards on the road would be restored by me. I will have poly warriors in either in all of the counties or in four major hubs filled with yellow machines to maintain the roads. It's going to take 50 years for Liberian government to pave all roads. Paving roads is expensive. Every 1 mile of pavement is $1 million United States dollars. We may not have that money, but let's maintain the roads so that people and goods can move freely. You know, going to the market, people going to the hospital, moving up and down. When I was in Tapeta, I used to leave from Tapeta in the morning, go to Monterey and come back by 5 o'clock in the evening. We need freedom of movement, and the government of Liberia is the current government is violating Liberian people's fundamental right to freedom of movement. It is a constitutional right. It is an international recognized right under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So the government is in clear violation. They have no excuse. And a shameful thing that our officials of government themselves, they are, after neglecting the rural people, they speak of the House of Representatives last week, going to register because the time was running out, and he felt that he had gone the road, he would have taken 2 weeks, and then he would have lost his chance to register as representative, and he would have lost his seat because you're not registered to vote in the district. How will you be campaigning to retain your seat? So he passed through Ivory Coast. It was really, really disgraceful, shameful. He passed through Ivory Coast to enter Maryland to go to Plebo. Then when he entered Ivory Coast, he went to Plebo. He put plenty of money on the table, so 1,000 Liberian dollar bill. That's another way of multiplying poverty. You say, here comes the Gongloe. I'm an economist. Let me say this. You are putting so much Liberian dollar on the market, millions of dollars, chasing few US dollars. The exchange rate will go up. The importers trying to buy US dollars to import their goods. When they import their goods, they will ship the burden to us consumers. And that will make the poor people poorer again. So borrow, flooding the market with Liberian dollars. We are not exporting so much to generate so much US dollars. You bring in too much hardship on the people and expect that as we go to election and there's a double hardship coming to people, you'll be re-elected. I say they must be living somewhere now on planet Earth or on Jupiter also. Because the harsh conditions are terrible.
But so thank you very much. We got a big show today and a lot of information coming in from all over, from your county, by the way, where the CPP having the convention. But let me stick with you for a minute, though. The biomedicine, you said through that thing, the man multiplying poverty. I want to bring in Fagon, then we can go to Aram and Gray. The multiplication of poverty.
But we want to stick. Before you go to that, I just want to say something about the biomedicine. So it affects the Doe community where you grew up. On the Robertsfield Highway, they have off the main roads going to Big Shot's houses. One going to his house and the former VP. Then the other one going to the President Pro Tem house. The other one is going to the Public Works Minister house. The other one is going to former Minister McGill house. And I think there's another one going to Senator Jim Banning's house. Besides that, no other roads. Even Tipota, his uncle lives on that road because Tipota usually call your nephew. Tipota House Road, not paved. The only pavement is to the VIPs in government. So it's borrowed medicine for a certain group of people. The place you grew up in Clarendon and the Big Shots on Robertsfield Highway. That's it. Not for the rest of Liberia.
Honorable Fagon, please, your question for Councillor Gongloe. Can you unmute, please?
Well, thank you very much. Let me go to because right now, you know, Honorable Gongloe is running for president. He's a political leader. He's a candidate. But I want to ask my question from the position of an eyewitness account. You've been to the courtroom on several occasions, battled in several cases. What would you say as an eyewitness? What's the feeling, the general feeling of the people from the Southeast towards the government, the current government? What would you say the general feeling is, having gone there and seen with your own eye not Spoon or newspaper report, what would you say is the general feeling towards the current government?
Because they expected so much, given the poor conditions that were there. They expected that this son of Southeast was going to, at least make them to be close to where Nimba is in terms of general development. They are so disappointed. They are so disappointed, and they are not shy about it. From Total Grand Jury all the way to Sastown, the president home, I was endorsed. I was not even endorsed in Nimba and Bonkande, my man from Bonkande, my part from Nimba. The ordinary people were talking to me, but government officials were not open to me. From Total all the way to Sastown, government officials, city mayors, township commissioners, what do you call it, town chiefs, empowerment chiefs were endorsing me. This is your message about road condition, your message about free medication for pregnant women, for children under 5, and for people 5 years and 55 years old. Your message that you mechanize rice production, and so that Liberia can be a rice exporter and not a rice importer. Your message of, the road condition that used to be part of where your message is good. Your message that our children will go to school from kindergarten to 12th grade free. That is the message you want. We have never heard this kind of message before from anybody. And this our son from Southeast is not even helping us. Look at our road condition. We're suffering like this in the Southeast. Last year, November, to leave from Zwaju to Ganta by motorcycle was $35,000 to $40,000 per person. Now, the place is poor, no companies. How are they going to make it except gold mining and motorcycle riding and all of that? So the prices of everything that you see in Monrovia is double up interior. So they are really, really angry because the worst case you can find in Liberia in terms of human suffering is in Southeastern Liberia. So when I got to Bewan before, for example, in Grand Cru, they said to me, I said, you were sleeping, man. I said, no, in this thing, I don't want people to lose their jobs. Oh, said to me, I want to sleep somewhere. He said, you working at government? You were sleeping in my house. So people are not afraid. In the Minister of State, Wisa Blamo, in his home, I think it's called Extrajudicial or something. In his home, the people endorsed me there. When I left the minister, I called him, I said, Minister Wisa Blamo, your people were very nice to me. They endorsed me. They said they would support my presidential bid. Then he said, oh, you went to my town? You didn't tell me. I said, I'm a free Liberian. I have a right to go anywhere. I don't need to tell you that I'm coming to your town. But that's the sentiment everywhere. And the best case was in Sastown. I arrived in Sastown in the night around 7:38. The city mayor of Sastown came to me and said, can the Gongloe sit down? I've heard a lot about you. Let me go fix the place. It is the city mayor that fixed the place. Not only that, the place he fixed, he found that there was a loudspeaker, a sound system. Then he came and gave me cola nut, pepper and salt. I ate the cola nut, they brought me water, I drank, and he said, our tradition is when you finish eating the cola nut and drinking the water or cane juice, then you give us your message. I finished, they were clapping. All the message I was giving, they were just clapping. When I got through, then he gave it party. He now gave the vote of thanks, and then I told the people I was leaving. I left. Interestingly, when I got to RTI in Riverside, I heard on EFBC the next day, Councilor Gongloe went to Southeastern and they booed him. I said, but the thing was live. You ain't know how to lie. As I was speaking, it was live. Everybody saw it. So it wasn't a place where but the people are so disappointed. They are so disappointed. And the bishop.
So Gongloe, because we got a lot of questions, I know you got a lot to explain. Fago, you want to go with your second?
Yeah, my second will be everyone is fighting for a running mate. The question comes in twofold. You might want to brother. Maybe you will choose me, I know.
Just possible.
Have you made up your mind? And if so, how soon can we expect to hear from you on your running mate? considering the fact that no two persons can come from the same county.
Yeah, true. And you're not from my county, so you are
I
a
could be in
possible
contention.
candidate. You know, and I know you better because you're my little brother from 12th Street. But no, I have a committee, a vetting committee, and pretty soon they will reach a conclusion. I'm in contact with them even while I'm in the United States here. But you can rest assured that the Liberian people will be excited when I need my running mate, because that person will not be far away from me in terms of qualification, experience, commitment, and love of country.
So I'll take it. How many persons do you have on the vetting list right now?
You mean how many persons I have as
on your
potential?
vetting list?
Well, I don't want to disclose that because you see, if I come to Eugene Fagon and say, you know, I'm talking to Witherspoon, if he doesn't agree, then I will come to you.
I say my name now. I say how
No,
many persons?
I'm just saying, I don't want to say that. Because even the people we're talking to now, you say, I got 5 persons, and the president say, oh, so they got other people line up. I gotta be careful to make sure that I get the people I'm getting. So I'm not going to say that. Yeah.
But how soon
Thank
can
you
you
very much.
Why are you going to look for a girlfriend? You say, I got 5 candidates, but I'm coming to you. You know, if you don't.
So
Papi, I told you,
how
Papi, I told
soon
you
do we
pass that
expect
thing
to hear
already.
from you? How
Eh?
soon? How
Eh?
soon?
Oh, I will act within the scope of the law before the time allotted. So let the euphoria of the other people, you know, they're doing that. But I can tell you that we are taking our time.
Okay. All right.
Thank you very much, Councillor Gongloe. Reverend Gray, your 2 questions, sir.
You know, Council, the issue of fundraising, one of the bedrocks of campaign, you know, and we all know definitely that all of these trips you're making, when you get there, you have to honor the tradition. You're not just going to sit down there, of course. You know what I mean? So tell us a little bit about your fundraising initiative so far for your campaign.
You know, I'm a risk taker, and sometimes it looks, people who don't know can think I'm insane. I got it from, you know, I don't have money in my pocket, but I don't consider myself a poor man because I've invested a lot I made social investment, representing people, giving people help. Like in Jackaken, one woman got, I said, you know me? I said, to tell you the truth, I don't remember you. It's about 3 years ago, Mother Sarah do a mission in Ghana's Way. When she died, her ex-husband wanted to take the whole mission with all the houses, the only over 20 houses in Monrovia. We came to you and you took the case and you helped us and we got my sister properties back. Then he turned to the point in Jackaken and he said, the mayor that man will vote for. So, you know, I rely on that and I go and I think that the Bible is right. Good name is better than silver and gold. I leave Monrovia now with $1,000 and I have cars to repair the gasoline. And when you go, man, I've spent so much money on repairs and gasoline. But I called to America and called some of my friends. I don't want to name them now. And I say, my man, I'm in surgery. I don't know how I will continue the trip. They say, you got anybody with you with mobile money? I say, my driver has the other person on the trip. When I look, $2,000 will come. And that's why I enjoy. I say, I think it's good to have, you know, money in social investment than even a bank in your pocket. For example, in Facebook, we reached there, the car was giving trouble. The people watching it from America. Somebody called me. He said, my man, it looks like you need to continue the trip with motorcycles. So my roommate from the UL dormitory, Simon Green Level, he said, my man, I'm sending, how much for a motorbike? I said, a good one at $950 here. He said, I'm sending $2,000 right now. We bought 2 motorcycles right there. And the motorcycles remain in Zozo and in Vonjama when we're leaving. So I'm not carrying money like that. But when I call Remy Gray, like, and say, my man, it's 12 years, they send 500. When I look, I got a $5,000 on the trip. And I do complete the trip. You know, I just decided I'll make the trip. And it has reinforced my belief in people more than even money. Yeah, and that's how I'm making the trip actually.
My next question has to do with your own long connection to a legal corridor. As someone who headed the Bar Association, when you look around, there's a proliferation of disadvantaged youth. Don't even know where the next meal coming from, but then sometimes there's a prevalence of drugs everywhere. I mean, narcotic. But then when you go to the prison sites, there are individuals who are there who have not even been arraigned to see a judge to know exactly their charges. And so they are there, they just languish, and some people spend a year or two in jail without even seeing a judge for the first time for them to know exactly what they've done wrong. And you were there as head of the Bar Association. Um, how are you going to address some of these kinds of issues where people are, because you talk about human right, and it's against the individual's right to keep them behind bars, without even
So
giving
Remy, I
them.
understand your question. Let me start answering.
Mm,
As Solicitor General, when I was at Justice Ministry, the Justice Ministry, that pre-trial, the high population of pre-trial detainees has always been a problem since the war. Because the war changed human behavior. People got angry faster than before. People became more intolerant. People became impatient. I always say that law was made for an orderly society based on the presumption that majority of the people in society are law abiding, and that once in a while when somebody breaks the law, the police will come in and cover act. But when breaking the law becomes a norm, it challenges the system so much. So one of the things we learned from, I think, with Malawi or so, where they had a magistrate sitting program. So the Justice Ministry and the Judicial got together and said, you know what? Every day there should be one magistrate sitting at the central prison just to look at the pre-trial detainees, how long they have been there, and to see how they can free. And they are doing that. But for every 2 prisoners that get free, 5 more enter jail, with minor offenses here and there. So, and we did that. And then the Bar Association, I met a program as president of the bar that was sponsored by the USAID. But while I was president of the bar, USAID said, look, we can't continue the program. We are ending our program with you. We have legal aid program in 5 counties. Keep in mind one of them, Bombing, yes, we have keep my Bombing, Grand Bassa, Bon County, and things like that. So the 5 counties. Our problem was, how do we abandon the program? I said no. One of the things I did, I remember as president of the bar, was to make the bar self-reliant in funding its activities. And how did I do it? 2 things I achieved in the process. To get the quack lawyers out of the profession, because people just used to work close and go to Temple of Justice and say, what kind of case you have for? They didn't get in law office. And sometimes they call some lawyer name. It was spoiling the profession. So I said, and then we had a situation with Noah Buduke, a non-Liberian who went through our law school, went through the system and became counsel lawyer and all. So I set up a committee. We then decided that, look, we'll have to issue licenses ourselves to the lawyers, to become, so it is the statutory responsibility of LRA to issue professional licenses to doctors, lawyers, and all that. So we enter into MOU with the Commissioner General, the current Commissioner General. You understood what we're saying, that we will pay the fee to them for revenue purposes, but the bar will issue the license to the lawyers so that we know that the people who are actually practicing are lawyers, because people just used to go to LRA and pay the $100 professional fee, and they show the license to magistrate court and say, I'm a lawyer. You see, government gave me a license. So now it doesn't happen. We set up a committee headed by Councilor Siri Jones, an erudite lawyer, and they came up with a form. That form show what part of Liberia you from, your name, what part of Liberia you from, are you a natural born Liberian? If no, are you naturalized? You're naturalized. a copy of a naturalization certificate, what law school you graduated from, when you got admitted. Have you paid? Then a good thing for us, have you paid all your bar dues? If you said no, I owe 5 years, but I paid 3 years, you don't get license. If you don't get license, you file any paper in court, it's thrown out of court. And we started following the code. The judicial cooperated with us. People, some people owe 10 years bar due, pay 10 years. They will come to me, Kanga, I mean, you my classmate, and I pay 9 years, 1 more year in me. I say, you got to pay. And we're rigorous in that. Because of that, we collected more than $300,000, in fact, more than $400,000. And I was able to honor my administration to keep the program for legal aid program that USAID was supporting. In the absence of USAID, till today, we are still supporting that program because we did so well that the bar said they should elect my vice president for continuity. So in reality, it's like I'm still president of the bar because they elected my vice president to carry on. And we're able to build the first floor of the 3-story building of the bar headquarters that we are building on Roberts Field Highway. So we don't go begging anybody again for our law day program.
Thank you, sir.
Everything. And so we keep improving the situation. As president of the bar, I work with the when I resigned from government, I took a consultancy from Justice Ministry as a consultant for the pre-trial detention task force. So as president, that will be one of the areas that I will focus on. But you mentioned the drug issue. The drug in Liberia is creating so many criminals. It has improved. I mean, so it has increased the criminal behavior of a lot of young people, and it's all over Liberia, not just in Monrovia. I went everywhere. The point you call Zoko can be found in almost every village in Liberia. So we have to be strong on law enforcement. We have to improve the economy, but also we have to stop the people. We have to be strong on those who are bringing drugs in the country. It is connected to people at top level of government. Why do I say so? Because
Councilor, we have to run. I know this is a big issue.
3 years ago, a presidential escort car was caught with drug in it in Bowater. I think Eugene Falcon was staying in Liberia. It was so embarrassing. That case didn't go anywhere. So unless we got to get to the people who are bringing the drugs in the country, the supply side as well, as we're dealing with the criminal conduct and rehabilitation.
Thank you very much, and thank you for joining us, Hussein, for running. We want to say thanks. We still going to be looking forward to have Sadama to joining the show shortly. Let me ask my question, then we're going to go back to Hussein, though. Politics in Liberia right now, consider Gongloe right now. You can tell us who and when you're going to announce. Well, that's fine. Let's talk about April 28th, 2023 announcement from Unity Party. One of your kinsmen, he accepted to go along the ticket with Joseph Yemabwaka, Jeremiah Kuhn, Senator of Nimba County, your senator. We'll give you time to speak. The Joseph Yemabwaka and Senator Jeremiah Kuhn ticket. What's your take?
I really don't have time to speak about other people's ticket. That's how they feel. I'm not a member of Unity Party. Whether that good ticket or bad ticket is left with them to decide. But what I can say is that in Nimba County, there's no conflict because the Nimba people have decided that they want presidency this time and not vice presidency. They had Dogolier and they also had Moses Black. 2 vice presidents came from Nimba. And if you go to Nimba now, they have had several polls on the different radio stations, Interpreters, Cyclopia, Ganta, San Nicole. They said, do we want a tail still or we want a head this time? Overwhelmingly, they say that the head we're looking for. And historically, it has been shown that when a son of Nimba runs, he gets majority of the vote for presidency. He gets majority of the votes from Nimba, from Jackson Doe 1985 to Koto 2005 to Prince Johnson 2 times. Senator Prince Johnson came 3rd and 4th. That means he got almost all of the votes from Nimba County and the Nimba people all over Liberia that you can find in River Cess, in River G, in Grand Cru, in Bapolo, in Cape Mount, everywhere. So right now they are so excited. They think that they are close to the presidency with their son, Councillor Gongloe. So there's no conflict, there's no confusion in Nimba. It's not going to affect me.
Have the Nimba Kwado, have you spoken to the group Nimba Kwado? Have they endorsed your bid to be president?
You see, Nimba Kwado, the young man called Isaac Dan, made a mistake by going and without consultation, pledging support. As a result, he was removed, and they are trying to settle the differences in there. But everywhere I went, through all Liberia, Nimba Kwado was so excited. Every country I went to, they are well organized, they are business people, they are independent, nobody controls them, they are well established, and they say, we want the head. That is the unanimous call from everywhere in Nimba. You know, so
have you spoken to them? Have they accepted you? I mean,
yes,
you say we want to see something. Have they come up with any announcement, Councillor Gongloe, that you the man?
No, forget about that announcement. I am saying I met, because right now they have a leadership crisis. Their president, Isaac Dan, took some people to Jamaica. They didn't know what they were going there for, and he just announced that they are going to support President Weah's second term bid. The confusion broke out right there. Before the next day, the board removed him. They now have an interim president called Randy Fangalo. Their constitution says they are not political, so they are not supposed to make that announcement of Nimba Kwado supporting. So you can get to individual members of Nimba Kwado, they can talk to you. Like, for example, the Nimba governor in Bapolo, Yomi, I talked to him, and he said, our organization is non-political, but we Nimba people here will support you. Same thing in River G. And we have right now a coordinator for Southeastern Liberia, James Bele, who is in Zwetu and goes all over. He's coordinating all the Nimba people there. But the people constitution say they are non-political, just a bar association. So many lawyers support me, but the bar cannot come out and say, we support Councillor Gongloe. No, it is against their constitution. As a lawyer, I have to respect that. And I think it's wrong for politicians to get organizations that say they are non-political to pledge support to them. Even me, I'm a member of the Simon Greenleaf Hall from University of Liberia, with a large group of students in the dormitory there. And they have a website there. One time I said, oh, a Simon Greenleaf Hall president is running. They came after me. Our organization is non-political. You got to respect that, you know. So I don't expect Nimba.
My last question, we'll get back to the Nimba politics, but my last question to you, Councillor Gongloe, please correct us, and let's make this correction tonight. Were you ever asked by Jose Yimam-Bwaka to be his VP or any one of the political
No, I will not even let you
party?
No.
Were you ever asked by Alexander Cummings?
No.
To be his running mate?
No.
Would you have say yes?
I can't go to that. And they know why they didn't ask me. Yeah? Look, you people forget that Joseph Yimam-Bwaka and Ellen Johnson-Sirleaf were part of a government that I resigned from that made them look very bad. You don't think that they have a settled position on me? If somebody doesn't think, I resigned in 2005 in the 5th year of President Sirleaf's government, the Unity Party government, and Joseph Bwaka stayed on for 12 years. Are we holding the same values? That is a debate for you, but I don't think we hold the same values. And a lot of people don't want somebody who is seen as a strong person all over Africa. People don't have strong vice presidents. They always look for people that they can control. This man is so independent-minded. I mean, discussion we had in different political camps that, you see, Councillor Gongloe, that man, I know he didn't get time for poverty and all of that. He can live in a life. So this man in 1 month could even resign as vice president. And I told people who told me, I said, that's true. I love Liberia more than anything else. And I cannot stay with a group because if I see a group doing something that led us to 300,000 people dying in Liberia, the war, my conscience will tell me, what are you doing here? You are a co-conspirator in the failure of Liberia. So I'll resign. I don't owe any loyalty to individuals. I owe loyalty to Liberia. And so I'm a risky politician when it comes to an establishment politician. I'm an advocate, I'm a change agent, and people can't handle me. So
but understand, you're sending some firing shot right now to the UP camp, Councilor Gongloe. You say you resigned 2005 because of what under the UP government, Madam Salif, you didn't like their operation. You had to step aside, and you did. So let's just agree on principle. Are you saying yourself, will you work under the Joseph Yima Boaka government if elected, or the Alexander Cummings government? If you are not the president, will you accept a position from that administration?
Let me say this. I am not one of those in Liberia who believe in a sense of indispensability and therefore being recycled. I've seen people in Liberia become minister, then after some time they appoint a deputy minister to go there, or you minister in the government and all that. Look, there has to be a chance for Remy Gray and other young people to be ministers, man. I've been minister, I've been solicitor general, I've been minister. I work in the executive branch of government. I believe I can only be an advisor to someone running my law office, but I cannot be, I've been minister. Other people should go in the cabinet and have their experiences too. I don't think it's fair for some people say minister honor Taylor, then they come, you say minister honor Judy Bryan, they say minister honor Ellen, then they say minister again. Are they the only ones in Liberia? Other people need to have their experiences. Other family need to come out too in this report of Liberia. So I don't believe in becoming anybody's minister after this. Frankly, I'm
going to come back. Let me bring Al Hussein, and we're going to stick to the conversation. Fadika, your two questions, sir.
Cool. Well, it's probably evening there, Councilor Gongloe. Sorry I came late. I had some other engagement, but I had to do everything to come here. I do see you going around the country with your broom, and to be frank, almost everyone that I've spoken with has said nothing but good things about you. My problem is, that Liberia, we have a proliferation of political parties. Everybody cannot win. How do you intend to win this election?
I intend to win the election by winning the minds of the Liberian people. That is why, since 1847, you can prove me wrong historically. No presidential candidate has gone to even 50 towns in any presidential period. I have gone to over 300, and the people are so excited that I'm going to them. I'm winning mine. One 87-year-old man told me in Princeton, keep on what you're doing. He said the people in Greenville and all the big towns are rascals, so they are for everybody. But for us, when you come to us, when we give you our word, we stick to it. He said, in most of the towns I went to are the first presidential aspirant to ever go there in their life. The only town they mentioned, I think, that two zones where President George Weah went in 2005, and then in Princeton where Councilor Bromsky also went in 2005. The rest of the towns outside the capitals of the counties and the big cities in the counties, I was told I was the first to be going there. Places like Herentine in Bapolo, places like Cambotan in Riverses, or Zonotan in Grand Bassa, or Benekole in Bonkande. All these places that I went to, I was told, or Babla Town in Grand Jeddah, or Zaita.
What about Nimba? I see you mentioned a lot of the county. What about Nimba? Because Nimba county,
that's why. Listen, that's where I'm from. That's why I don't want to mention. You know what?
If you can win home, you got to win a lion's share at home.
I've already won home. Listen, before I started this venture, we had a meeting on December 3rd, 2021 with the elders of Nimba in Saclay-Pied. That meeting was chaired by Paramount Chief, the doyen of the Paramount Chief of Nimba. His name is Franklin Toy. And he called all the elders together. And I told them, look, my friends in Liberia, many people have called upon me to be president. On the 4th of December, I'm supposed to agree or disagree. What do you say? Then, while we're talking, the elders of Bonkande came because I went and saw my mother's people. I said, uncle, aunts, the people are saying I should run for presidency. When you say your thing I should agree, they say we think you should agree. They say we voted for Joria, we don't know him, but because you carry our niece, Joel Howard, now you, our nephew, you people want you to be president, we will support you. When I went to Secretary, I didn't know the Pope. They heard, they say, where you going? I said, I'm going to Secretary to meet the Nimba elders. In the morning, as I was speaking to the Nimba elders, the Bon County elders arrived with one cutlass in their hand. And then they brought money, their cola. They gave cola to the Nimba elders. They say, we agree for our son to run 1 year to tell him, for our nephew to run 1 year to tell him to run. So the Nimba elders agree. They say, we agree. Chief Ranking to us said, no, politics coming. I want you to speak. The 9 districts representative from each of them should speak. He started with district number 1. The elder spoke. He's a blind man, so he told his assistant, Moses, write the president's name down and the telephone number because I don't want him to deny tomorrow. So they went through the 9 districts. I'm from District 9. After that, I say, you agree? Then let's take the cola from our in-laws. Traditionally, they took the cola and they ate it with some money and all that. Then right after that, the Bon County elders said, we got something to say. They said, what? They brought cutlass, brand new cutlass. They are not sharp in using. They gave it to Franklin Toy, Chief Toy. They said, Chief Toy, since you agree for our nephew to run, and you will say you will support him, your son, we are giving you the elders of Nimba County this cutlass to cut everything in his way in Nimba County here. Then one elder said, what our in-laws are saying, the meaning of what our in-laws are saying is that if any of our sons, since we agree today for Councilor Gongloe to run, he's the first to come to us, we must tell our son to wait for 2029, the next election.
So Councilor Gongloe, not meaning to cut.
Otherwise, we'll be making ourselves shame to our in-laws. That was the decision. And maybe that's why my nephew Kun decided, the Nimba Pope finished speaking, I know they are traditional, let me go for vice presidency. So there's no conflict there. The Nimba Pope decided.
The reason why this conversation is coming up, and I'm sure you know where I'm heading. There's another strong man in Nimba County. His name is Prince Johnson. He seems to be winning a lot of votes there. And I'm not hearing that Prince Johnson have endorsed you. From everything that we know out there, he seemed to have endorsed Jeremiah Kun. So how will you be able to navigate this whole Prince Johnson influence in Nimba County? I hear the story, all the chiefs, based on tradition, they seem to be heading your way. But how are you planning to get past this hero? From my indication, have you gotten past him?
Fadika, I always tell people, when catfish come from in the water and top of alligator, you black there can say they're not true. I'm from Nimba. I know Nimba. I don't doubt in Nimba County, the Nimba people vote for Prince Johnson when he's running for the Senate. There's no history that when he points the finger that where to go. Just recently in Ganta, when he lifted one of my friends up, a hand up and say that man should vote for, they didn't vote for him. There have been many people who when they are lifted up, they say, we can vote for you, but you can't transfer our vote to anybody else. That has been the tradition in Nimba. They're very proud people. They vote for him. No, I beg you, yeah.
All right, thank you. I mean,
thank you.
And I've been to 110,000 Nimba. Never.
Thank you very much. Let me just make some. But that was your second question, my man.
My second question, Councilor, this will be very quick. And I like the broom, honestly. Liberia needs some cleanup. But one of the biggest problems that we are faced with is unemployment, especially youth unemployment. I don't know whether someone have asked that question before. My question specifically to you is, what policy or program would you put in place to create new job opportunity, or just improve the overall quality of jobs in the country? What policy?
Let me expose to you that because I'm the only aspirant that has been on so many media outlets, every question that I have been asked 5 times or more, even this one you're asking. I'm a former Minister of Labor. I'm an economist by profession, and I know labor is a factor of production. Now, one of the things, first thing when our labor ministry, here is what I did to improve employment of Liberians. In fact, when I appeared before the Liberian Senate, they say, what's the one thing they want to do at labor ministry? I say liberalization of labor. So I then got to labor ministry, and I found out that the work permit fee was low. It had been there for more than 10 years. I increased, I issued regulation number 17 with the support of my staff. We discussed it, and all of them said, you know what happened? We need to increase the work permit fee since the employers want to keep bringing Indian, Lebanese, and other people. We increased the work permit fee from 400 to 1,000 United States dollars. As soon as we did a FATICA that year, some people who employed 60 persons who are non-Liberian, reduce it to 20, reduce it to 30, reduce it to 15. Because you pay $1,000 this year, next year you pay another $1,000, it will eat into your profit. We hit it right at that call, we're correct. Today, all of the young people you see as cashier in the supermarkets were there after regulation number 17 was issued. I just met the Minister of Labor the other day, my friend Charles Gibson, and said, my man, your regulation is still working. Yeah, that good regulation issued is still working and is helping to provide jobs for a lot of Liberians. But more than that, I have in my plan to do this, to deconcentrate the economy from Monrovia by giving tax incentive and other incentives to value addition companies that want to engage, for example, furniture making or any other thing. Maybe they want to produce some condoms and other things from natural rubber in our country. We give them incentive. Every 50 miles from Monrovia, we drop corporate tax. Every 50 miles, to the extent that if you have a corporation, a factory in Hermanstown, Buffalo County, or in Boajiken in Grand Crook County, or in Sedekan in Maryland, or in Vonjama, any of those places, look, even building a factory will create jobs. Then when we are creating that job, people, even though the companies are paying low corporate tax, they will be paying payroll tax to government. Government tax base will be expanded by that policy. Then when the factory is finished, say you employ 500 persons in the factory, there will be a multiplier effect of that investment because the money that the employees will receive, they will pay rent to the house owners in the area. The house owners will then buy goods in the market. Drugstores will open. That one investment will have an unending multiplier effect. The economy will be improved in the local areas. The young people then, there will be a slowdown in the rural-urban migration. A lot of young people, when they finish high school, they just come to Monrovia, or they finish college, they come to Monrovia because no job centers in any part of the country. So when they come to Monrovia, it's also related to the question that Remy asked. So they come to Monrovia, they spend 2-3 months, no job. Their friends say, my man, you're frustrated. I cannot go somewhere so you can feel good. They take them to the ghetto. They get addicted to drugs. They get in armed robbery. They're checking women's bags at night to the extent that Monrovia has a virtual curfew. After 9 o'clock, you don't find people going to any entertainment area. It is related to the lack of jobs as well. So crime, fighting crime, and improving the economy are two things that must happen together.
Thank you very much, Councillor Gongloe. We'll be going to, just real quick before we get to Fagon. I think we need to make the correction. You didn't resign from Madam Salif's government 2005 because you said it.
No, not 2005. Sorry.
Exactly.
2010. Jesus.
Thank you very much. We just need to make that correction because she came to power 2005, 2006. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now let's go to Honorable Fagon. Fagon, please.
Thank you very much. Council, this one will be how. They want that something are going in my way time my bed to take it off. If I sit and say, I will lead it.
Bring it on.
Council, the Liberian people are yearning for justice. Most politicians play around. Yes, I'm in for the War Crimes Code, but they will never tell you what they will do from day one. And they will never tell you how they're going to go about it. Everybody is in for it. Nobody is willing to tell you what they'll do. Council, my first question. We all want the War and Economic Crimes Code. You're going to tell me that, yes, I support it. Council, how are you going to bring the War and Economic Crime Code is my question. And how forceful will you be in making sure that whatever way you think about bringing it, how are you going to bring it? when it gets here, you'll be ready to move? And how soon?
You know, I'm not going to run an arbitrary dictatorial government. It's a democratic government. A lot depends on the legislature. But if you're a strong president, you can convince the legislature to pass the law that you think is one of the fundamental laws of your regime. And you've seen it. You've seen under President Selig, President Weah, the laws they wanted to pass got passed. Although I will not use brown envelopes and all of that, but I will persuade them. I will meet with the legislature many times. I will take my case to the Liberian people. As you know, the draft that is there now, there's a draft of the bill for the establishment of War and Economic Crimes Court. It was done under my administration as president of the bar with the help of the civil society. We were presented June 24th, I think it was in 2021 or so. It is there. A majority of the people in the House of Representatives are for it, minority opposed to it, and almost the entire Senate is opposed to it. So even if all of us collectively use that on your media platform and other media platform to make it a campaign issue, a lot of the lawmakers may not go back, you know, and we cannot make one step without a lawmaker. We have done the draft. It's there. We submitted our draft. We did it with the help of a law professor from Nottingham in Britain. We sent it to other criminal law experts in America. Everybody looked at it. It was good. In fact, I felt so proud that I was invited as a criminal law expert to Gambia 2 years ago to look at their draft because they are doing something for the Yahya Jammeh era to prosecute people. And I saw, Eugene, I was so happy. The draft they brought, the Gambian draft, had 16 footnotes from the Liberian draft that had not been used. So it's a good law. All we need to do is to collectively persuade the legislature to pass it because accountability is important and we cannot as a nation promote impunity. So that's what we're going to do. We'll take our case to the legislature from there. We'll start talking to them from there. We'll take it to the people, you know, so that people can pressure them.
Okay, my next question will be, there's an instrument lurking within the corridors of our judicial system, no matter how you put it, and that is the TRC report. Tell me what you make about the TRC report, and tell me whether or not it is an instrument that can be relied upon to prosecute individuals, or, as others will say, it was meant for reconciliation, and so forth and so on. What do you make of the TRC report?
The TRC, I give them authority to do truth-telling and for people to show contract heart that they felt that they were sorry for what they did, and to be able to meet the victims. And so many of them who were recommended for actions did not admit to the wrongdoing, to the criminal act. And the TRC spoke to people all over Liberia. From what I know, I was in government then. They even, you know, I remember the president didn't want to go there, and I wrote the speech when she was launching the TRC, and I put a line there. The TRC is so important for national healing. So even I will not be above the process. So when somebody put a justice ministry say, Madam President, don't appear because you will be breaking your immunity and this and that, I call her and say, but you got to be consistent because in your speech you said, not even you will be above the process you appear. And when she appeared, she has said, look, I supported, and I actually told her, I said, look, I was in South Africa, I was working for the UN. Mandela admitted his wrong and said, look, we did this, the apartheid regime forced us to choose violence as a means. And I I admit that I was part of incompetent with history. We bombed train stations. We did different things. I'm sorry for the consequences of my action, and I denounce violence from today. I said, Madam, go and say, okay, we say, not knowing. Then when she appeared, she said, oh, I want to give 10,000 for humanitarian reasons. Because of that, that was not truth telling. So most of the people who appear who were recommended for different actions did not tell the truth, because you have to tell the truth, admit that you did wrong before you can even ask for forgiveness from the victim. So the thing, and so that is why I don't even like the people who say, oh, I killed a lot of people, I'm sorry. At least you must have known some of the places you kill people. Say in Busekora, I went there and killed people in our house there. I'm sorry. I understand that these people live in the house, so I'm sorry to the family. But somebody appear and say, I care a lot of people, I'm sorry. I don't consider that to be important. I think the whole issue of accountability is something that we should follow. I think the TRC form a basis for the investigation for indictment. It is also good for people who were, I've said it, that people who were named can actually appear before a tribunal and they could be acquitted. Pierre Bamba of DRC was acquitted. Nobody can call Pierre Bamba a war criminal. He can sue you, right? Babo of Africa appeared before the ICC and was acquitted. There's a possibility of being acquitted, because when you appear before the tribunal, the admissible evidence, the hard judicial evidence that the law requires that comes, and sometimes you could be acquitted. Because the thing is, nobody will tell us that you go to war, instead of killing the people who are pointing guns at you, you leave and can't kill pregnant women hiding in the church or looking for food somewhere, or you kill people at the gate, and people say that should go free. No, that cowardly act should not go free, because it will let it go free in another generation, maybe while we are alive or while we are dead. It will happen.
So what will you do with the TRC report? It's a direct question.
Listen.
What will you do? Will you
listen to me?
Put it down like the other people?
No, I'm not that kind of person. I'm not that kind of person. Look, when I appear, even to become Solicitor General, one of the person now named in the TRC report actually asked me, Councillor Gongloe, you are being recommended to be Solicitor General. What do you think about war crimes? And at the risk of not being confirmed, I said, I strongly believe in transitional justice, and that those who committed heinous crime during the war should be held accountable. And I knew that answer would have caused my not being confirmed. But I love Liberia more than opportunity to work. And it was while I was president of the bar, we took a decision. I remember that I was president of the bar, we took a decision that the bar supports the full implementation of all of the recommendations of the TRC, especially the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Code. I cannot be inconsistent. At least I'm one of my assets. So
thank you, Councillor Gongloe. Before we get to Arabic Great, Councillor Gongloe, honor your position serving within the Madam Salif government. The government then turned Chastity over. The people of Nimba, the people of Liberia, understood exactly what was at stake. Will you be in a position to turn Prince Johnson over if the international community requests Prince Johnson?
No, but you see, even on your own show, I think it was on this show that Senator Prince Johnson said, you know what, I'm prepared to go to the War Crimes Code if that is what Liberia needs. So that's not even an issue anymore. But I can tell you, even if my child is in violation of the law, I will stand on the side of the law. There's no question about that. There's no question about that. Anybody in violation of the law, I will stand on the side of the law. I don't have
knowing what you know. You were in Liberia, Councillor Gongloe. You went through the war. We heard your story from the April 6th. We heard all those stories. You went through everything like some of us did. Knowing what you know, do you think Prince Johnson need to be turned over to the War and International Crime Court?
I don't know why you make Prince Johnson a special case. He's not exempted. Look, and even Jeremiah Cohen, whom he recommended, has said he stands for War Crime Tribunal. So there is some sort of unanimity of views coming on this. It makes it easier now. I didn't turn Taylor over because I hated Taylor. That's what the law required, and my office demanded the president asked me to go and represent the government, and I did so. Turning Prince Johnson is not an issue. It's not a big issue to me. Anybody who violates the law must face the law. Why are you making a big case unless you don't know me?
So then I will ask you this. My last question, then we'll go to Remy, please. Let me ask you this, though. The NDR, now the standard bearer is Jeremiah Cohen. Most Liberians saying, well, Jeremiah Cohen came into play because of Prince Johnson. You are from Nimba. Will you tie Jeremiah Cohen to Prince Johnson relationship, since now he's the VP candidate to Joseph Yema Boakai? Or Jeremiah Cohen is his
when
own
we
man?
started this conversation, I told you I'm not interested in vice president that other parties carry. That's their business. They will take their chances with the Liberian and the international community. That is left to do. Anybody who becomes president today will need the support of the United States government. If your action is seen as defiance by the United States government, you will face the consequences. And I know historically, United States government does not take defiance lightly. Noriega did not even kill an American. He just said the time is coming, we'll see the bodies of our enemies flowing on the Panama Canal. The next day he saw himself in jail because American government took it as an attack on U.S. troops. And they say it was a violation of the War Powers Act. And that's what caused the president to act without the approval of the Congress. You know, I saw that debate in New York, 1990, when I was there at Columbia, learning human rights advocacy. There was a debate between George Ipsofer from the State Department lawyer, and the late Louis Hankin, an international law professor from Columbia University, and they were debating on whether or not the president was right to use the War Powers Act. So that you know, anybody who knows well will not defy any major force in the world. And the American government was very clear through the State Department, through the embassy in Monrovia. Sometimes people forget, maybe because our government maybe behave differently. When an American ambassador in Monrovia speaks, that, especially a press statement, it is clear by State Department, it is clear by White House. So when the ambassador, plenipotentiary, speaks in Monrovia, it is the president of the United States that is speaking. And when you defy it and do otherwise, you are left with the consequences.
Councilor Gongloe, let's move to Remy Gray. Thank you very much. Conor Gray.
You know, Council, one of your signature program is ending corruption. As indicative of you carrying a broom, you know, you sweeping corruption, so to speak. But then at the same time, scholars have come out and said, we just don't have the structure legally to prosecute corruption. So as a result, some political organizations, i.e. The Alternative National Congress, have proposed a special court for corruption just to fast pace the movement, the process. Do you think we have the legal structure to really prosecute corruption vehemently so that we can put an end to this menace in our society?
Yes, we do. We have the criminal code C, which is for theft, and we have courts all over the country that have general jurisdiction over all criminal acts. The only special code we have for crime is the rape code. But let me tell you this. What we have in Liberia is not a question of, the impediment we have is not a question of not having a court. The impediment we have is lack of political will. It's lack of political will. Basically, for example, And people like to have exceptions. Any situation that have too many exceptions is ineffective. For example, right now, all of us are criticizing President Weah's government. But I can say without any hesitation that I'm the only aspirant in this race who have a history of criticizing other presidents besides Weah. The other one, the only president in their life that they have ever criticized, and all of them are above 60 years old, they were adults when the other presidents were in power, is President Weah. That says something. Do they know that the other president did not have the political will to fight corruption? Will they have? We have a situation where the past president was saying some people oh, this is my untouchable. This is one of my untouchables. How can you have a government have untouchables? Oh, I can put my hair on chopping board with this person. They other report by John Molu. I agree with because I can put my hair on chopping board. When you do that, it sounds like obstruction of justice. And I'm saying that, nobody should make any big deal of creating a special code. That whole idea of creating corruption code started even when Johnny Lewis was state chief justice. I was saying, look, is government bringing corruption cases to court, to criminal court C and other courts? Let's see that there is a plethora of cases that are being brought to court and the capacity of the court is not there. You haven't even done it. So there has to be a justification for adding one more budgetary item to give that burden to Liberian people. Let us use the system as it is. Let's have the political will to use the system. I think
your second question, Everman.
All right, Council. Another question has to do with the bloating of our government, and it's just too bloated. Big bureaucracy, very sluggish, producing nothing effective. People go to work just for paycheck. They're really not contributing any level of expertise to enhance governmental activity in general. Do you subscribe to that idea that we need to reduce the size of government in order and repatriate whatever is acquired from there to the private sector?
Let me say this. Again, it's the lack of political will to do what is right. The government employment has increased, population has increased, different agencies are being added to government, but you gotta, govern. Government is not a laissez-faire thing. You don't let people do as they wish. President Tobo had all his faults, but as a young man growing up, I admire him as a taskmaster. President Tobo was leading by example in many respects. Look, he will come from Bensonville, enter the executive mansion at 7:30. Why do I know that on the second floor of the Seymour Greenleaf, we used to hear the siren entering with 3-car convoy. Enter the executive mansion 7:30. My uncle working in the mansion as a SSS officer. He said, look, the mayor will go in the chapel 7:30. From 7:30 to 8 o'clock, he finished praying for everybody. He goes to his office 8 o'clock and organizes his work. Exactly 9 o'clock, the servants start going to the ministries. And if you get to your ministry and you are not there, you go to Ministry of Education first. That's why he dismissed the late G. Flaman Sherman, Minister of Education. He said he came to work 10 o'clock. When he came, he just handed his letter of dismissal. Because you get there 10 o'clock, you're not there, you call his private secretary and say, write me a letter of dismissal and bring it. Let the SS bring it. So he didn't sit in Bensonville to fire you. He himself showed that it is possible to come to work on time. And he came to work, then he went to your ministry, and if he didn't see you, he fired you. That made the machinery of government to start working. When I was at the labor ministry, I asked people, I used to be the first to go to labor ministry. I go upstairs at 8:30, I come downstairs and draw a line and sign it. The best leadership is by example. Once we start doing that and the systems are functioning, then we'll see, and then we'll have clear job description for those in the system. Then we'll see, and then we'll make sure that people work, not just give job to people based on friendship, but to make even people know the system. I see some people today, they want to be president. No experience in Liberian governance. Look, the other day, Ambassador Eddie Don and I were talking. I was saying, Eddie, talk about time. I remember I was young, but when people used to come from abroad, even with a master's degree, they would start an assistant director. Then they go become director. Then before assistant minister, they know in the system. He said, "Boy, it happened to my brother, D. Edward Don, the American with PhD. He was direct, and then the main director of Foreign Service Institute or something like that. Then later on, assistant minister. Then before he rose up to the cabinet. That's how you make system work. But since 1980, we dropped this thing and people just jump. If you have supervisors who can direct you, you don't have respect for them. They don't even know how to direct you. So you can make the system small, but if you have that kind of attitude, it becomes ineffective. What are the only two ministries you have? If you don't place people, if they don't have the proper steps to go up and be learning, the system will not work. So as somebody who works in the system, look, I told somebody the other day, they said, oh, why do you say if you have not worked in government, you can't be president? I said, because our people in Liberia say, when you say you can plant new mine, they say, show me the old one first. Even the car washers on Buchanan Street, because I was standing near Buchanan Street, the car, they can take 30 minutes to wash. Remy, if you go wash that car, you'll take 3 hours because they've been washing it for years and they know how to move fast.
Gongloe.
So
let have a little bit of a strange debate. They got the experience, Mr. Cummings. I will bring in Mr. Cummings' name. I know you are not pointing to Mr. Cummings. You've been open. He served as an executive on Coca-Cola, though. He have international connection, the experience. Are you going to exempt him with those experience and the credential he will be bringing forth? You're going to exempt him that you are not talking, you are not speaking about Mr. Cummings?
You like to bring him just as you brought Prince John. I was trying to be general. But let me say this.
No, I just like to bring him. The politics we're on here, Councilor Gongloe. We got to be fair now.
Yeah. So, but let me say this. I know that anything in life without experience, look, private sector, as an economist, I know in the private sector, the whole objective is to maximize profit. In the public sector, the objective is to seek the common good. And in the process, you can sometimes borrow money. That's why when I hear our Minister of Finance saying, oh, we have budget surplus, I say, budget surplus, no medicine at JFK. Our budget surplus, our road so bad. Budget surplus. What are you talking about budget surplus? Surplus, that profit, that concept belongs in the private sector. So if you are used to that, you come in a public sector, you'll be trying to say, no, this is waste. You can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that. You will create anger. And anger can undermine peace. Let me tell you, the things that experience, every job in the world, they can say you get PhD, but do you have experience? You go over a job now, you get PhD. The other man got a master's degree. You don't get no experience. The man got 5 years experience. He know what has work and field. I tell you, whoever is providing that job will employ the man who has a master's degree over the man who got PhD, who has even written 5 books. It is just normal that
so does that disqualify Mr. Cummings? Councilor Taiwan Gongloe. Does that disqualify Mr. Cummings now? Because you cannot give us a shot and you want to pull back on the ammunition. You open yourself with all your credentials. You know nothing about Liberia. You have not worked through the system. The international experience is good, but come wash car, understand our system.
So listen,
who are you talking about? Let me learn, Councilor. Councilor, please allow me to learn, please. Jose Yima Boagai, experience in the country, almost 40 years. Councilor Taiwan Gongloe, worked in government.
9 years.
Former lawyer. Good. You have Simon Freeman, Madera Cooper. And who else out there? Mr. Cummings. The only person we can say that will not be. Okay, but I want to tell you. Okay, I know you try, but Simon Freeman doing business in Liberia, Simon Freeman understand the system. But let me say this. Let me narrow it down to just the big 4. It would be the big 3, I can say, or how you call it, JMB, ABC, and you. And you saying that ABC is the only person that have not worked in government. Be open. Tell the Liberian people. Does that disqualify him because of the Gongloe? Or are you just giving a cheap shot?
Oh, the Liberian people will elect someone who can do the job. But like I told you, there are some parables in Liberia that are full of wisdom that help us. In fact, all of our parables. They say if you can plant new man, show the old man. They say we can buy pig in a bag. It means they have to know you. Also, let me tell you, one of the major things in Liberia is this corruption we're talking about. If you are now working in Liberia, for your classmate to come to you and say, my man, it's rough, I need $20,000 and so, and you got operational fund in your ministry to give it to him. If your brother is coming for a job and not qualified for the job, and you see that temptation and resist it, you have all. There can be temptation even in your bedroom. Some people are corrupt because their wives, their brothers and sisters worry them so much. Look, let me tell you my story. As Minister of Labor, I went to Glazer.
I beg you, what we're going through your story, can you just narrow my answer because we gotta go. It's after 6 years, Councilor Gongloe. The reason why I asked you this because the only person that have not worked in the government, Jose Yima Boaka, Tewon say Gongloe, and Alexander B. Cummings would be Alexander B. Cummings. He have not worked under the Liberian government, and the experience from the government like you and JMB have acquired. So are you telling the Liberian people
not provide information
because of the experience? I will come to you, my brother. Let me land with my question. I want my question to be free. I don't want any interruption.
Alex
I beg you, Councilor Raymond Gray, please let me ask my question.
Alex
you will have Councilor Raymond Gray, you will ask your question, please. With all due respect, I want to put my question to Councilor. The Councilor say experience matter, and it's true. Yeah, in the United States. With other experience, I have observed it. You will go, they will say, yes, that's my degree. I'm a registered nurse. I'm an LPN. I'm a how you procurement manager. Where have you worked last? Okay, somebody will say I worked there for 10 years, 15 years, whatsoever. Councilor Gongloe, Mr. Cummings, the only thing we ever saw on Mr. Cummings, when Joey told Mr. Cummings, said, I hire you to be on the board to be there when you are. Mr. Cummings came back for a few months. He worked at one of those banks. Now, the experience that you, Councilor Gongloe, have, Jose Yimabaka, Mr. Cummings, does not have the experience when you talk about Liberia government. Are you talking about Mr. Cummings, that he lacking that working experience?
Well, if you say that, then he's not fit for the office. You got to know. You got to know the system. And some people live in Liberia, in America, they work with the city government. They work with the state government. They work with even federal government. They had that experience. If you haven't had that experience of working for government, then, even your best judgment will be wrong. And we don't need that in Liberia moving forward. I always say, that you got to know Liberia. Obama, Clinton, all the people who are good president in America can be good president in Liberia. You know why? Because as a country, we can say, I come and go. When I tell you I come and go, you are Liberian, you understand it. But if you are not living in Liberia, you don't know us, you don't understand it. Because you can be coming and going. But we understand it, right? So if you don't know Liberia, you don't know Liberian people, how you be that president?
So my last question before we bring Aaron McGray, because we're wrapping this thing down. You called for sanction on Buffer Chima when he was distributing money in his county. Can you tell Liberia on this network for our audience? You are calling the American government to sanction him. Am I correct?
Yes.
Because, yes, talk to us on that note, please.
Look, let me tell you. Because of the lack of political will to fight corruption in Liberia, even when our president Obama, I think the last Law Day statement, I was there 3-minute speech, and the American ambassador was there, and the EU ambassador was there. I said, I'm calling upon the international community to bring stringent sanctions on the corrupt people in the 3 branches of government, because we, as a people, lack the political will to fight. But when the people steal the money here, they bring it to your country and invest. Therefore, please help us. And then afterwards, they brought their sanction. Now, the sanction says that pay for play is in violation of the Magnitsky Act. During election time, Mr. Buffer Chamber is putting stack of Liberian dollars on the table to give it to the people. Not only I call upon the American government to sanction government officials in the CDC government and officials of the CDC government because they're in violation of the Magnitsky Act. And it must be fair because they said one of the reasons, the government said one of the reasons that McGill was sanctioned was pay for play. When Prince Johnson was sanctioned for vote selling, then I call upon the American government and said, but McGill is vote buying. That year, McGill spent 170 million Liberian dollars in Nimba, Bong, Margipi, and Grand Bassa County. So I said, but this is vote buying. Subsequently, he was sanctioned. And I'm seeing these people doing the same thing. They should be sanctioned for fairness. And they are undermining the fairness of the electoral process. There has to be an
have you written a document to the United States government, to the embassy, to the European partners?
No.
You just spoke on it openly.
No, I spoke on it openly.
Okay.
No,
will you follow through? Will you follow through though?
Not necessarily. I will speak. The American government has its public affairs board that listen every day to what we say in Liberia and they record it. How you think they come up with different reports? They do investigation. Not just by my statement, they'll go and find out from Kipamas whether or not money was put on the table, whether that money was meant to influence voters. They got experts working with them. Some of them are Liberians.
Thank you. Let's bring in Al Hassan. Al Hassan, you will take us home because we have other development coming up, my brother.
I consider one question that people say about ASU. They send me 10,000 people send me question, and only one question they want to answer tonight.
All right, after Al Hassan.
Yeah,
make sure I don't ask that question. They've been telling me too. There has been word out there, and you know, Liberia, we always have some gossip, and most gossip sometimes end up being true, sometimes not. Have you ever been offered Chief Justice position by any of the presidential candidates?
No, not true.
Never had that discussion with anybody?
Nobody.
All right. My question to you, Councillor Gongloe, is about back to the economy. I think Remy Gray talked about drugs. In your earlier speech, you said something about Liberianization.
Yeah.
You said you would use that. And one of the things that you said, and I thought it was kind of alarming, that you will ensure that only Liberian work. I just wanted to make sure that I heard you right. In certain area, I know you mentioned supermarket and something. I know we already have a Liberianization policy. Is that how you want to get the youth back to work? Is that what I was hearing? I need clarity before I really ask that question.
No, I said two things. I also told you that we'll give incentives to create companies all over the country that will employ the young people, right? And I didn't say only supermarkets and all of that. I said the regulation number 17 that increased the work permit fee, free up jobs for a lot of Liberians. And I was just giving Liberians who work as cashiers in the supermarket as one example. That before the regulation number 17, there were non-Liberians who occupied these positions. But that regulation number 17 free up a lot of jobs for a lot of young people, you know, all over the country. One of the things we'll do, and it's in my 10-point agenda, is to create free trade schools in the 15 countries to train up young people to be ready for the job market. You know, we had when our labor minister, there were times companies will come in the country and say, I'm now signing work permit for these foreigners you bring in. And then I would say sometimes, look, go and advertise for 1 month on the in the newspapers, on the internet, and see whether we don't have Liberians for this. We also had a data bank there for Liberians with a CV. Sometimes you check there, you not find. People come for yellow machine operators. The one they will find would be like 65 or 70 who work with Lamco, Bomb Mines, Monterey, you know, way back, because we are not trained mechanics, heavy-duty mechanics. We are not trained yellow machine operators. We are not trained light-duty mechanics. We're not trained a lot of people. And because of that, these jobs were being taken over by Togolese, Ghanaians, and other people. We had one case with the American embassy. I told the American embassy, I'm not giving, and when they were building the new embassy, I said, I'm not giving work permit to the people you brought from Togo and other places. Then the ambassador, and so then we work on a program, and they said, oh, you know, some of your people don't know computer. Most of the machines are computerized. Finally, we agreed to get work permit because they agreed that there will be Liberian counterpart for 1 year to learn, to understudy. And they even went beyond that. They say every 15 days, we'll have, every 3 months, we'll have at least 15 interns to be trained. One of the interns live in Philadelphia now. He was trained. Yeah, he was trained as a safety officer when they were building the American embassy. The man studied public administration at AMEU University. When he graduated, they gave him a certificate as a safety officer. That young man got a job with Buchanan Renewable and was paid $600 starting salary from that process. That is what I did in negotiating with the people for Liberians to get a job. It is true that our people didn't know the new machines, but we found a way for them to learn and say, if I stay as labor minister the next year, I'm going to say, well, show me evidence that you have trained people. I can't give new work permit to these people anymore.
All right, let's go about our talk about the currency. There has been a lot of people. I know you are an economist. There are a lot of people that have been talking about having a single currency as a president. Will you get rid of the US dollar, keep the Liberian dollar?
I answered that question earlier. I've answered it many times. Look, in the whole sub-region, everybody is using single currency. And as you know, we are moving towards a single currency in West Africa. That discussion is on. Right now, Liberia is suffering because of double currency. When there's inflation in the US dollar by itself, and then there's a flooding of the Liberian dollar on the market, we face double inflation, and that is reflected in the prices of commodities, and that makes our people poorer. We need to change that. Look, on dough, for example, the currency the US dollar was controlled by central bank. You want to come study, for study, they give you. You want to import, they give you. And things are moving. But to have the US dollar everywhere, and then Liberian dollar everywhere, and some people, you got so much, I think there's so much Liberian dollar circulating outside the banking system, and that will only keep the exchange rate going up, along with the prices going up, and Liberian people suffering more. So I think it's sensible to have the single currency, but most often, I know the problem with different presidents. They recruit people from America to be minister, deputy minister, managing director, and all that. They got mortgage here to pay. And because they have mortgage here to pay, they have to, it's easier for them to also be sending the money here. So, but we have to look at what is the larger Liberian interest in terms of what makes the greater number of Liberian people happy.
And one of those happen to be Mr. Cummings, who seems to be from the diaspora, heavily supported. Could we point finger at Mr. Cummings?
It's not for you to point. You guys want me to point too many fingers tonight? That's okay.
Well, you already pointed one finger. Yeah, I mean, we can do inductive reasoning to at least arrive at some conclusion, since he
why you can't talk about my brother Remy Gray, who came from America to go work in Liberia and needed to remit money to
Remy Gray. Well,
but I want to bring in Remy Gray. Then from there, Fagon will take us home, because it's good having you, Councillor Gongloe. And listen, you're always welcome on Spoon. We love having you. Fagon will ask the last question. Let me bring in Remy Gray for just one question. Conor Gray?
Council, you can answer yes or no on this. If you worked for Liberia LBDI, would you consider that as working for the government of Liberia? If you serve on the board of trustees of governmental agencies, would you consider that as working for Liberian government?
In my view, it's not sufficient to even make you a minister of a ministry in Liberia.
It's not
Thank you very
sufficient.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. You want to follow through just real quick?
Still have
'Cause
not
we
answered
on
whether
time.
it's working for government.
Oh, but
It's not a matter of sufficiency. It's a matter of a yes or no.
no, I'm not going to answer yes or no. The yes is embedded that you know, government. It is not LBD is not a government agency. It's not central bank. It's a government that is a bank that government has a share in. LBD is not even housing bank. Housing bank was purely government. LBDI got other shareholders. Government just got a share in there. So it's not working for government in my view.
Thank you. So from the opposition standpoint, Councillor Gongloe, Councillor Gongloe, how you see the 2023 October 10th election?
I thought you said, well,
Do you
Eugene
think,
for a long time.
yeah, Eugene will take us home, but Eugene gave me
The
10
how
seconds.
man can
What?
do. The how he can do. The how he can do. When it reach that sweet part, he eat it.
Councillor Gongloe, I got to ask this question. How do you see 2023 election? Do you think the people going back to President George Manneh, we have to re-elect him? Or do you think somebody from the opposition, knowing what you know now, because you live in Liberia, somebody from the opposition will be elected president for
That's
Liberia?
easy. That's easy. The election, the competition will be among the opposition political party leaders. And George Manneh is gone a long time. The Liberian people finishing, starting with Dylan time. Is the thing all over the country. It's clear. He's gone. He's not part of the factor. I can say with high degree of credibility, I've gone all
Will you? I know, because that's why they just send me the message to actually, to be frank. It's true. The same people that are saying, if I got message send to me, will you, President Tewang say Gongloe, will you audit those ministers that write to this government, if elected, and prosecute them to the fullest? Can you tell Liberians tonight?
That's an easy question for me. And I'm the one that prosecuted Judy Bryant from past government. I was the only president who have a history of prosecuting past government officials, and I have that experience. So as president, we set up a crack legal team to there will be a commission inquiry, 2 commission inquiry, one to look at the economy and all of those things. Another commission inquiry will be for the mysterious unexplained deaths, you know. And these people will not be empowered, so the truth will come out. Those are 2 major commission inquiries that will set up, and there will be lawyers on both of those commission inquiries.
Thank you, Councillor Gongloe. Eugene, please take us home.
All right. There are 2. Oh, you had 2. Don't say take out one, say you give me one. In fact, you have 4.
You remember how only one last. So
I have one too. I only have one.
Okay, go ahead, Minister Fagon.
I got 2. The first one here is this. We all believe in the United States. And you know they have the most powerful security engine in the world. They came up recently to talk about, indicted this government. I shouldn't say talk about. They indicted this government for extrajudicial killings. Could have been your brother, your friend, or your wife that was killed by this government. They indicted this government for drug dealings, and we can see it all in our country. As a matter of fact, they confiscated 100 million and then the 40 million drugs. They talk about corruption. President Tewang said Gongloe, on day 1, will he request the assistance from the U.S. government with respect to evidence in order to ensure that the issue of extrajudicial killings, the proliferation of drugs, corruption, punishment, unusual and cruel punishment, all of those things named in the State Department report, will we get an answer from Tewang Said Gongloe on day 1?
Is a capital? Is a yes with all the letters capital?
Thank you. The next question is simple. When you become president, the EPS people, your advisors and other people will not, I repeat, allow you to be carrying this broom around. They will say, my president, because will you give me that broom? Let me hold it for you, please.
Let me tell you this. As a president, I'll be in control of my governance, and I will carry the broom around because I want to educate the people every day that we have to run a clean government.
So they put one to the broom for you because
they will not take it from me, man. They will not take it from me. Look, they will not take it from me. I will do the same things I used to do before. You know, somebody say, even when I go to places in the towns, when you're president, you come back here. I say, I'll come back here. My example at Kerry Street. When I was working with Sawyer as executive assistant, I used to go to a tire shop on Kerry Street. When I began Solicitor General, I went there. Remy and myself, we used to meet on that Kerry Street and talk. Not true? There's SMP. And then when I became Minister of Labor, I used to go there 6 o'clock in the morning. By 7:30, I go to my office. You know, so it's not going to, I want to educate the society and leave a legacy of being in government and not stealing, because government is a place to serve, not to steal. The roles belong in jail. They don't belong in public offices. Public offices are honorable places. They belong to decent people.
So I take it you will be very active if there's a second round. If you don't win, you will be very active in ensuring that the opposition becomes victorious, whoever makes it to the second round, correct?
You know, that's a question that's left to the future. I would take a decision that is in the best interest of Liberia, but I'm not going to accept at this time that I'm not going to win. Elevate anybody.
No, that's why I'm saying. The reason why I'm asking you, we've seen this game before. People will say, as long as an opposition leader qualifies to the second round, I will support. And then when the second round comes, if it's not them, they say, I leave it to my people to decide. They take play and go sit down somewhere else, as if to say they're not supposed to help.
No, I'm not going to.
That's the basis of my question.
I'm not going to leave Liberia. I'm going to see the people. I strongly believe I'll win, but if we reach that bridge, we'll cross it. But I will take decision in the interest of Liberia. But let me say, that thing you're talking about, it has invalidated a lot of political leaders, because I've heard some people say, oh, I'm not supporting anybody. There are people who say that your business, we're going to support this person. Then it takes your leadership away. So I've seen all those things, and I'm not going to make the same mistake that others have made. That's all I can say.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Gongloe. We want to say we appreciate you.
Y'all will keep me for 5 hours. I'm ready to be here for the next 5 hours. I mean,
but then but if you're ready, then we got to talk about what is happening in Liberia right now. Well, let's end the show with you then. We got about 20 more minutes to go. No problem. Thank you.
The Liberian people got to have that sale.
So, yeah.
I
So
do have a gentleman in hand that wants to ask
open the line, let people ask questions.
So that's what listen, we still got to talk about what is happening in Ganta today. We saw pictures from Ganta about the CPP convention. We want to discuss, and we're going to discuss actually what is also happening, what is happening between UP and Liberty Party, Yomlikanga Liberty Party. We have to discuss it as well. But we're going to open the phone line. Something is happening. The CEO said there will be no personal phone calls from our personal cell phone. Everybody should go through the regular line. So, folks, if you're calling, try to call the regular line. James is going to put the number up because we do not want our friends or loved one to call and be an insult to our guests or to any one of the panelists. So, call the number James will put up. Yekezi, can you please come? James, good day. And let's just open the phone line for Liberians to call.
That's a man.
Yekezi, but Councillor Gongloe now are from way on the other side, though. Yeah, but the thing when we start swallowing the GB, we will pronounce it well.
The way to live family life. Yekezi.
Yekezi always sleep in studio. Let's see whether he's awake today. Yekezi.
No, the man living family life right now.
Oh, when you sleeping, right?
No, he's living family life. Family got this side of family.
All right, let's bring in Yekezi. Yekezi, thank you very much. We got Councillor with us. Open the phone line just from Liberia. Y'all please put the number up. Everyone should call the studio number, not our personal cell phone. We got in trouble because some friends of ours don't know how to behave when they call. They want to insult. We will not be responsible for that. So let it call the studio line. Councillor Yekezi Zogwe, please. Let's talk to the Liberian people, sir.
The numbers are 0777 771 075, 101075. Let's talk to this person. Hello, your name and where you join us from.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, welcome. Your name and where you join us from.
Okay, my name is Fofi Kamara, calling from Dupo Road, to be precise, Siki community.
Fofi, let's hear you.
Yeah, I want to say good evening to my friend and big brother, Councillor Tenwan Gongloe,
Good evening.
and Mr. Waterspoon. The issue about what Councillor Tenwan Gongloe just said regarding when he was Labor Minister during the early regime, and when the BRE company came in, I'm a living witness to that, because the metal steel, the chief, how you call, there was a company for mining also. I will call the name of that company G4, and a lot of company was in country. But when it comes to our labor system at that time, with the BRE came in with a very good salary. I was one of those that worked with BRE at the time. I was the head of security for the Buchanan Renewable Energy, and I know what was the starting salary. And one of the things BRE did, they agree with the government, and they were teaching people on the job.
Okay.
Those who have it. Hello?
Yeah, thank you very much. What's your question, my friend? The line is busy.
Don't cut me off.
Hello?
But we got only 10 minutes, 30 seconds, my brother. Please. The line is busy. Can you get to your question?
Do the right thing.
You just want to summarize.
Yeah, okay. So to summarize this, BRE started to teach people on heavy duty machine. Young women were learning how to drive trucks and doing a measuring job.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's talk to another person. Hello, your name and where you join us from.
Hello, my name is C. Momo Mata, and I'm calling you from down Ronald Street in Trenchtown, Coconut Plantation Community.
Let's hear you.
And let me say thank you to Councillor Tenwan Gongloe. And I have a question. My question is, as we are getting towards the October 10th tools, if you are elected President Councillor Tenwan Gongloe, what would be your policy for students, mainly the primary and secondary students? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for calling. Let's talk to this person. Hello, your name and where you join us from. Oh, I'm sorry. We can't take you. Let's talk to this other person. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Your name and where you join us from.
My name is Flomo Johnson Flomo. I call you 18th Street.
Who Flomo? Johnson Flomo?
Yes.
Johnson, let's hear you.
Yeah, I want to ask the councillor in studio. He was in that position. He talked about he was taking place and asked some people that people say.
Come again.
So why did people say? I mean, it was wrong to say that.
Come again with the question, please. Hello.
Hello.
Come again with the question.
He said that he asked people. I mean, asked that the people say actually wrong. So what do people say about your name? A certain area when you ask the question. I'm thinking that it was not the right procedure to go ask people say people want me to run. So what people say? Waiter and say people can governor they are supposed. And for you to go and ask them say what people say, then you put me in then they will just say, oh yeah, but no, with you.
Okay. Thank you very much. He's going to address that. Let's talk to this other person. Hello, your name and where you join us from?
Yes, my name is Robert Kemuga and I'm in Carwell.
Okay, let's hear you.
I want to say thanks to the councillor in there. And secondly, he spoke well. I just lying down, just contemplating, I have my side, but if I never have my side, I could join. Because I listened to even a pro-government station this morning. It was interesting to know Mr. Gongloe fell in the third place, and why Kumi went to the fifth place today. So, looking at the entire issue now that we're looking at now, The people looking for people who live with them, who understood them, and who have been with them. But to just come back, pig in a bag, someone just come to you, even now, you don't looking at Liberia now, you don't even know woman now, woman just can't say, my brother, I want to stay with you. You are in the community, who is the girl? When I know that girl is me, I want the girl. And you run away.
Thank you. Another person here. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm John Jessica calling from Robert Yahweh.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, I want to ask the councillor, according to you said, Nimba said they want to be scared in any case. Is it quite for power from Nimba country because we saw that president become president?
Come again with a question. Come again with a question.
I said, we hear from the councillor that Nimba country said they want to be the head in any case. Is it a fight for power from Nimba country? Is it that people in Nimba country are fighting for power?
Is it a fight for power? Okay, thank you very much. Yes. Hello, your name and where you join us from?
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you. This is Evangelist Otis Call. I do join you from Pittsburgh this evening.
Let's hear you, Evangelist.
Yeah, I have a question for the council. I appreciate the council. I follow his profile. He's a very good man. But I want to understand something because I follow several of his interviews in the way he said that the issue about forming an alliance or forming a collaboration is not the problem, it's not the solution to Liberia's problems. He said that Liberian people should look out and choose the best person that can lead this country. Now, in a clear term, that would mean that Councillor Gongloe, is saying that he prefers to go independent, and he will not want to, suggest himself or go advise to any other person. How do you reconcile that statement with statement that running around? People say, "Oh, Kumi, so you don't want to go advise to any other person." And lastly, you also said that Kumi has no experience. He hasn't worked in government yet. Did you follow the history of Adama Barrow in Gambia, 2016?
Okay. Thank
you.
He
came from the background of a business. He did not work in the government sector.
Thank you very much. Let's talk to another person. Hello, your name and where you join us from?
Hello, my name is Philip from Southeastern. I join you from Virginia.
Okay. Let's hear you.
Yes, I did listen to the Honorable Chancellor, but I want to ask him, because he read the last question, agriculture. I really want to know if the opportunity is given to the Honorable Chancellor to be the next president of this country. What he actually going to do in terms of promoting agriculture in the country? Because for some of us, we are trained agriculturists and we are actually willing to see how best we can contribute when it comes to agriculture in this country.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Your name and where you join us from?
Yeah, my name is Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, let's hear you.
Yes, thank you very much for the honorable Gongloe. You spoke well. But now looking at the Gongloe means we have best to work hard and forget about this election 2020 because we have a lot of experienced players that will be in the game to see how best to prepare yourself to move yourself for another election, but non-late election. And also my recommendation to him.
Is he not an experienced player as well? Okay, we lost him. Hello, your name and where you join us from? Hello? Hello, are you there? Okay, let's talk to this person. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Your name and where you join us from?
My name is Kwake.
Okay, Kwake, let's hear you.
Okay, let me say a big thank you to Councillor Gongloe in studio. My question is, don't you are giving us a presidential candidate and coming from Nimba, and then you saying you can have an alliance with anyone in the race, and his sister Ide is more popular in Nimba. So if he coming to lose the election, and then for the Joseph Braga and George Weah in the race for his second run, let me say for rerun, will you support anyone? That's my question.
Okay. He's going to answer that. Let's talk to this person. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Your name and where you join us from?
I'm Morgan Bonda calling from District 2, Colorado.
Okay. Let's hear you.
I want to correct Councilor Gongloe issue that he didn't resign in 2005.
You didn't do what?
He was suspended along with all the cabinet ministers of Edinburgh.
In 2005, that correction.
2003, in 2018, in the month of July, and he was not reinstated.
Okay.
So he was the Edinburgh government.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's talk to this other person here. Hello, your name and where you join us from? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Your name and where you join us from?
I'm joining you from District 2 Affair. And I was trying to correct the honorable man.
Okay, but you already made your point, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Let's talk to this other person. Hello?
Good evening. How you doing?
I'm okay. Your name and where you join us from?
Yeah, thank you so much. My name is Ezekiel C, and I call you from Single.
All right. Let's have you, Ezekiel.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to say thank you to Councillor Gongloe. And also, we support his ideology, and the entire youth of Liberia is sending out to support him because we need to be liberated. And we see no one else but the councillor instituted there. So we want to say kudos to you, and we are in support of his ideology. We'll do it to the end.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Hello, your name and where you join us from? Hello? Okay, let's talk to another person here. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Your name and where you join us from?
Yeah, I'm Patrick Stumpon Davis, and I call from my comfort zone in Logan Town, specifically District 15.
Let's hear you quickly.
I would like to say,
you want to walk away from the radio, please? Okay, let's talk to this other person. Hello? Good evening. Your name and where you join us from? You already here. Just go straight ahead and make your point.
Councilor Congo, thank you for your liberation, and thank you to our best commentator, Eugene Facon. We love you, Eugene Facon. We love you so much, and we love it. We're praying for the COC with you. Small, we are silent listener. Councilor Congo, thank you for the liberation, but we want to tell you this time around, please reduce the ego and support Ambassador Joseph Human Waka. We are pleading to you. My name is Terry Sikko.
Thank you.
Support Ambassador Joseph Human Waka.
Thank you very much. Let's talk to another person here. Hello, your name and where you join us from?
Yeah, good evening to the good evening to our guest, the councillor.
Okay. Good evening. Let's hear you.
This is Thomas. I'm calling from Mamotan Dwala.
Okay.
I'd like to say a very big thank you to Councillor Gongloe for his brilliant deliberation. Councillor Gongloe, you know, we are in a very sad country. You have laid the law of public service. If Liberia is a country with serious amount of voters, you will be voted. But this is a country where we don't respect people who have demonstrated their lives, who have shown great level of integrity in this country. It's a sad day, it's a sad place we have found ourselves today. I'm so sorry, Councillor Gongloe. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hello, your name and where you join us from?
Hello.
Your name and where you join us from?
My name is Fatima, and I'm from Pagopi.
Let's hear you quickly.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to say, Councillor Gongloe, you are welcome to see you. Well, I really want to know what Councillor Gongloe, what you are doing for the country, when you want to run a president.
Okay, thank you very much. He will answer you. All right, let's talk to this person. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
Your name and where you join us from?
My name is Morris Kamara, calling from ERW Junction.
Morris, let's hear you.
Yeah, okay. I just want to say hi to our big brother, Councilor Gongloe. But my appeal to him with all of the good ideas that he have, I want him to please join in Ambassador Joseph Nimba with the good ideas so that the country can be rescued from the hands of the slaughterers. Because the country, they have reached a point where we see these guys, they already got a knife to slaughter Liberia, and which it is very worrisome. Councilor Gongloe, I beg you, please join other people like Joseph Nimba to rescue this country from the hands of the slaughterers.
Thank you very much. Let's talk to this person. Hello?
The last call, please. Thank you.
Okay. You are the last caller. Let's hear your name and where you join us from.
Thank you very much for the program. From a proposal in Dragon from Agility State.
Okay.
I want to thank Gongloe for a brilliant delivery. I think the character of Gongloe, who have a D.
Your line is breaking up.
When he refused to accept the ministerial post at telecommunications, that's people in that room. So I want to thank you very much. All we say, I look at people will do beyond the winning train. Please.
Thank you very much.
Across road. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councilor Gongloe. We want to say thank you very much for being our guest tonight. We appreciate you on our show. You listen to Liberians in Liberia, outside of Liberia. They spoke their heart out to you, and they have asked a question. Before you do your closing, you can comment on the question. It's up to you, and then you can do your closing. But we want to say thank you for joining us.
Okay, there were supporters of Joseph Nimba who said, "Oh, join Joseph Nimba," which means dropped from the presidential race, and that is their opinion. I've been elected by the Liberian People's Party as the tenant bearer. That is an issue for the party, but I've gone all over Liberia, and I have high level of acceptance among the Liberian people. I have to respect them, but that is their view. I respect them. So let them express their views through votes. Somebody talk about, somebody said, between Joseph Nimba and who will you support? I'm not deciding. I've already said that if there would be a second round, it will be among the political party, the opposition political parties. It will not be between Wea and anybody else. So when we reach the bridge, we'll cross it. You asked that question before. This person asked, maybe they were not listening. Then there's the thing about I did not resign. Again, everybody knows the real story. So if this president wants to say he has a different story that I did not resign, that is left with him, because the truth is well known that I was not dismissed. I was called back into public service, and I said, no, I'm not coming. I resigned from the government. I'm not coming back to public service. That is called resignation, when you decide not to be in government. Agriculture, somebody asked, now what will you do for agriculture? That is one of the things in my 10-point agenda. I believe strongly that cutlasses and hoe cannot feed our country anymore. The factor of production in the 1800s, Liberia used to export rice. But when we started going to school, when companies started coming, rubber company, mining company, then we started urbanizing, the factor of production that was in the interior producing rice disappeared or got reduced because of that. So now we have old people in the interior, very young people. We need to replace that factor of production by machines. So we need to mechanize rice production. So I have a plan for the government to purchase rice farming machines and distribute them among the farmers cooperatives in the 15 counties of Liberia. And they will produce rice and transform Liberia from being a rice importer to a rice exporter. I strongly believe that. The other thing is to strengthen CARI, the research institute. You cannot really improve agriculture without paying attention to CARI. It is that institution that will carry on research in the different rice kinds that we have, the animal, the different things. We need carry. We cannot succeed in agriculture without strengthening carry. We need our extension services. Before the war, there used to be extension workers on the motorbikes going from farm to farm and advising the farmers. That doesn't exist anymore. Their names are on the payroll. I understand. I check out agriculture ministry. They say, oh, but we got extension department here. But in the field, you don't see extension workers anymore. You need extension workers to help with agriculture. Somebody talk about farming alliance. We talk about that. It's actually late now because by tomorrow, Cummings will have appointed his running mate, Joe Parker. So they are already forming team. It's me left to form my team. So that issue is behind us. Whatever. Somebody say, oh, Adama Barrow, you don't have to have experience to be a president because Adama Barrow of Gambia is a president, he's doing well. But the normal thing, as Spoon was saying, is everywhere everybody wants experience for whatever you do. Maybe Adama Barrow has a lot of technicians around him. He's listening to them, and because of that, he's doing whatever he's doing in Gambia. That's why he was re-elected. Somebody said, when I'm fighting for power in Nimba, no, for Nimba. No, it's not for Nimba County. But the question was asked directly about different candidates coming from Nimba, one being vice president and the other one being the presidential candidate. I say there's no conflict there because one is going for vice presidency, the other one is going for presidency. And the Nimba people have said, look, we want presidency this time. We have had vice presidency before. And somebody say, what are you going to do for primary and secondary schools? In my 10-point agenda for Better Liberia, I have that from kindergarten to 12th grade under my administration, all Liberian children will go to school, all government schools free of charge. No child will be left behind. Going all over the country, I saw a lot of children not going to school or ask school in session, why are you not going to school? And I would say, my mom ain't get money, my pa ain't get money to send me to school. I'm in the 3rd grade. Things like that. The other aspect is going to most of the towns. You will not know when you sit in Monrovia. Because the government of Liberia, this government retired, most of the teachers, because they are reached retirement age, and they now replace them. Many of the schools, including primary, secondary schools and all that, have like schools that used to have 12 teachers, for example, have 4. The rest are what they call volunteer teachers. They are paid by the town. The town people collect money and pay that volunteer teacher. It's not a sustainable program. When they put them, give them money, they leave. Or when they find a job, they leave. So there are many schools throughout the country that are not really being run properly because you don't have teachers and you don't have school materials. We'll make sure that doesn't happen. We'll have no volunteer teacher in any school. We'll put government salary teacher in all of the schools in Liberia so that the supervisor of schools can control their behavior and make sure that they conduct themselves consistent with the education law of Liberia. So that's how we do it. Now we'll make sure that textbooks are available. The last time I was here when I went to California, I asked the education authority that I said, can you give us your old books? They say, if you can export, you can transport it to Liberia. One state in the United States can provide all our textbooks, both for, and in that case, the government will provide it for both private schools and government schools so that all our children can have textbooks. How do you teach math without textbooks? How do you teach English without textbooks? We need textbooks. We don't have enough textbooks in our schools. So we make sure that we ask America for that assistance. Science is science everywhere. Math is math everywhere. English is English everywhere. So that we can have textbooks for our young people to learn better. I think these are the issues that people raised. The other ones were just opinions of people, and we don't have control over how people feel. Somebody say, oh, wait for the next election, join a winning team, all of that. That is their view, and I leave them with their views, and I respect it. I don't have control over how they feel, but I strongly believe this election will be for whoever works harder. You know, some people have a sense of entitlement where I didn't go in election before, so I don't have votes stuck up in the freezer somewhere. Some people feel that their votes in 2017 are still stuck up somewhere, and all they need to do is to open. Me, I have to work. I like my role as the underdog, because that is what is making me work harder. Thank you very much.
I mean, you can throw jabs and you leave it.
What is it?
You throw jabs, you leave it. Then if we want kind of that, then you say we calling names.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, some people get vote in LBDI bank. No problem. They will hear you. Thank you very much, Councilor Gongloe. We appreciate you. And have a good night.
Thank you.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Hey, I was there that several times. He was choice too.
Then when you hold him to it, then he said, you're calling names. But you know what, folks? We want to say thank you for joining us. We want to say thank you a lot for joining us. This is the Spoon Talk.
Could I really great when I cash it, man? Lady, man said,
yeah, man,
he said yes or no.
No, yes or no.
I can answer yes and no question. By the time I asked him about the punishment for the
but you know what, Fagon?
He said yes with capital. Why yes?
But I'm surprised though that he said without experience under the Liberian government, some folks they're not qualified to run. Let me bring you in. Let's start from this thing. The Liberian experience factor, not international though. You think that's a good point to the voters? You think they're going to buy into that?
I don't think I know so. You have to understand your politics. And I think I made that argument here when I said you're running a corporation and this other guy is going to run a country. You'll be talking about product. This man will be talking about people. You're talking, and I made those comparisons along the lines of the fact that the Liberian political setting is unique. Gongloe, a luminary scholar of law, will not tell you that the Constitution says because you work in government. No. It's not what he was saying. The fact that you don't have an experience with this unique system makes you vulnerable with the electorate. And that's exactly what he was painting, that look, you come from abroad, and if you follow him carefully, he laid the map. He laid the map in a way that there was no way for you to argue, right? He said, he talked to the brother of Eddie Dunn, Elwood Dunn, who said you come with a doctorate degree, you start from director. You think who you are throwing a job to? Of course. You come with a corporate experience.
No, but you got to answer it because that's why I'm asking you. Who you think he was referring to? Look at the top three.
He was referring to Kumis directly because, what's his name? Maniba have some government experience.
Jose Yamabwaga.
Government experience.
Tewon Gongloe.
Government experience.
Why is he going after Cummings with this experience thing? Is this a loophole?
Because in order for you to compete for the third spot that will ultimately prepare you to compete for the second spot, you have to take out the guy either in the fourth or third spot. You and I can talk your whole day. Remy and I will agree. Fadiga will agree. First and second place right now is Joseph Wakai and George Weah. Either way you flip it. So we got third, fourth, and fifth, correct? So the guys you have to handle are either the one in front of you or the one behind you or both in front of you, either ways. So he said you got no experience. You can't come here and say you want to be president. So he brushed Kumis aside and he ignored Moniba. He spoke as if Moniba does not exist. So clearly you can see where he was going when he made that pitch to the voters.
Thank you very much, Fabian. Remy, you got to talk to us, though, because you are in Monrovia right now tonight. Let's give you equal time, my brother. He went directly, and I would say this, I tried to squeeze it out of him, but he went and said, listen, man, the experience issue is paramount. Liberian people ain't stupid. With other experience, you came back and you said, what about LBDI? He's on the board of BWI and all this thing. He said it's not enough.
You know, my brother, several callers call and wanting the counselor to call off his quest to become president of our country. And he dismissed those calls as opinions. So let us use that same principle of reasoning. That what the counselor said there was surely his opinion. One does not have to have specific Liberian governmental experience in order to compete for the presidency. He has set an individual, he has set up that individual standard, but that's not what our electoral laws call for. As a result, we're saying that their leadership, that there's a good practice, a good principle of transferring knowledge, leadership from one sector to another can be transferred. And those good practices would be the same reason an Adam Oboro will take on the government and become successful, unlike career politician. We continue to make the case that Liberia is not a success story when it comes to governmental experience, because we're a failed state, even though we're 177 years old. So if you tell me, show me the most experienced politician out there, I mean, the most failed experienced politician is what you will get. If that is what you're counting on as success, then we don't have a case here. You win. But if you want to have success in leadership, then you need to try something else. That has been the argument. It is a fundamental argument that anybody can come up with and win. Because you know what? You don't have any good example to show me. What your experience has brought for us as a nation. That's why we're pivoting to the point that, hey, Liberia is at the crossroad. Matter of fact, it's down the hole. We need somebody to dig us up and put us back on our feet to run. And you don't need to have governmental experience to do that. You just need
Thank you very much. Thank you, Colonel Gray. Hussein, to the same argument, Councilor, he was making this argument. A lot of Liberian people coming with different side of this argument, but the councillor said it today. We get to the UP argument that he was making as well, but let's talk about his argument about Cummings, no experience.
We cannot discount governmental experience. I think it's an integral part of any leadership, and I think Cummings' lack of governmental experience have shown in the way he's dealing with the Liberian people, in the way his campaign is performing. Sometimes based on the way he has found it difficult to resonate with the Liberian people, I sometimes wonder what kind of president he would be, because in the last 6 years, I'm still struggling to identify who Mr. Cummings is and what he stands for. And this is where that governmental experience comes in. Liberia is a different, it's like Liberia is unique. In our politics is unique. This is something most politicians understand. When they talk about governmental experience, it has to do a lot of things. It's not only about bringing investment. It's about reaching across the understanding the culture of the people, understanding the way they think, how to navigate. Because, like Councilor Gongloe said, this is not a dictatorship. Except where you intend to run a dictatorship, that is when you think you can just have your way or the highway. But you want to reach across the aisle. you're going to deal with so many people. Like Ellen Johnson said, I used to call her an economic dictator because she knew how to get people together. And when you can get on her side, she knew how to strangulate you economically, but she knew how to make good deals. She had this approach, what they call it? There was this something, it just slipped out of my mind, but it's called Team of Rivals. She knew how to formulate a team of rivals. So you could be a rival, but she would bring you on a team, and she did it sincerely. With Mr. Cummings, I'm still trying to understand. 1 minute they want the clean hands, they want the principle, they want to stand by certain things, and then another minute when they find it expedient, they push that by the wayside, they do this. So we are still trying to identify who this man is. So I think governmental experience is something that is very important, because if you do not have that experience, especially in dealing with our people, you're going to have a tough time. And I don't think how you can get any legislation done. I don't see how you can get anything passed in the Senate if you do not have that capability. But nobody have questioned his competence. Nobody have questioned whether he would make a good president. But what people have questioned is what kind of president he would be. How will he be able to reach across the aisle? How will he be able to bring people together to his agenda? And until he can solve that, I think is something that should be studied. And I think Mr. Cummings' lack of governmental experience is showing and starting to affect him.
All right, so let's move ahead quick with the Liberty Party. Honor Senator Yombly Kanga Lawrence and Unity Party under the leadership of the Standard Bearer Joseph Yuma Boyka. Have they come up to some agreement? Where are we heading, Honorable Fagon? What do you know?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I'm still trying to grapple with what is unfolding within the Cummings camp. I mean, we all are Liberians, but
you bring Cummings camp to this, and we're talking about Liberty Party, Yombly, and UP.
Yeah,
the question I'm asking you, okay, you won't pay me fine, but I'm asking you, have they built up a relationship? What is happening? What you hearing from those negotiations?
That's what I'm going to come to. I'm going to pay.
But you want to bring in Cummings first? Okay, go ahead.
I'm still trying to grapple with what's happening within the Cummings camp. You bounce in the town, you say, look at that girl. She's pretty. I got to get I want. And my man said he didn't want to get. I would take the get. Well, it turns out the guy said, even if the man get woman, I'll still go with the man. I'll let him in. They say, okay, but then go. I will tell the other one. And the other one said no. I will tell the other one. The other one said no. Look, let me tell you something. Cummings is not forced to let the pressure, and I'm going to give this to him. I know you're going to say, no, don't tell the man off the hook. Look, this is politics. You are not forced to give a running mate. Not this weekend. You're not forced to. Nobody will carry you to court. Nobody will beat you. But the situation Cummings finds himself in now is a dire one, but not compulsory. I say this because normally I'm hearing that the people are going back to their pa. All the children going back to their papi. And the reason why they're going back is because they have all agreed that if they go the other way, there is no hope for their political future. The Liberian people have decided and they are resolved on the matter. So the matter is closed. And I think what Cummings needs to do is to give himself some more time, because he's already blundered over the last 6 years. You don't wait for 3 months to find a pick. So now, with the issue of what I heard today, and you and I talking about, with respect to Charlene, she has a clear shot to beginning her political career. If she's going to let that go, to chase the vice presidential slot, two things will happen. No one votes for a vice president anyway. It's the president that carries you. If you lose there, and you lose your party, and you lose your representative seat, remember I said 3-0. If you lose your representative seat, there they are. And I'm better see popping from my mouth. I got eyes. I can see. I can hear. If you lose as vice president, you will have to keep your party. If you lose your party, because your party went somewhere else, then you must keep the representative position. If you lose the representative position, you must keep your father JMB. But if you lost the 3, you might end up losing your father. The choice is hers. My understanding is she's in Nimba, but she's in green. Stanton, did you hear me? Hear me and hear me well. She's in Nimba, but she's in green. We don't know what will happen, but it is what it is. Everybody is falling back to the old man. And yes, the train is parked. When I get order to move, I definitely will move the train. Until then, I'm under orders to keep the train at the station from the incoming president, His Excellency, Joseph Nyoma Boakai. He said, do not move the train.
Okay, so I'm kind of concerned, right? I know we're having this is very interesting looking at those pictures. I'm going to bring in, I wanted to keep Erami for last, but Fadika is taking a phone call. Let me come back to you before I bring in Erami, please, because he's the CPP guy. He's the ANC guy. Fagon, she's in green. I want Liberians to look at the pictures. They are on social media. Go on Musa Bedete page, you can find it. She seemed not to be too happy, Fagon. She's in, this is not the Charlene Bronskin. I remember in Liberia, I met Charlene at, she and her fiance, I don't know whether that's her husband now. It was every one of us when we were in Liberia, we met her at Royal Hotel. Very, very.
Wait. I don't need to call you that burger Kumi's eating with the chips.
No, we'll come to that. Very happy lady. And, you know, you could see all, she was so happy. She greeted us very well. What we are seeing here is like somebody called me and say, it seems that she's under extreme pressure. Look at Musa Asambedete. Mount Teresa talking to her, Mr. Cummings' wife. We received information that she has said, no, I don't want to be your VP. I can say it because we received information from her camp that she said no. And we received information.
She looking like folks, she won't cry so.
But listen, that's something I'm driving towards because we'll get Aaron the chance to speak on this. And we received information that she have called Musa and said, I do not want to even speak at the convention. I do not want to speak at the convention. But yet it's still the same, it must be because Besonga said no. Clarence Melba saying no. Listen, we can only carry you. Henry Yala said no. Listen, Charlene, don't do this to us. Just come to Ganta. Then Charlene went to Ganta. Charlene is ingrained. And let me give you another 30 seconds real quick. Then we'll bring in Colin Gray. What is happening? She said no at first to them. They still trying to bring her in. She went ahead again and said, you know, I do not want to speak even at the convention. They stay convinced, understand, this is what happened. The lady Charlene Bronskin will be running against that lady from Unity Party in Grand Bassa for District number 3. The Unity Party folks have to speak to the lady that she can withdraw. 1. The lady is supported by Yombly Kanga Lawrence. So the Liberty Yombly Kanga Lawrence Liberty Party is supporting that lady as well. But yet and still, shall they have an upper hand to win that district in Grand Bassa? But if Charlie say, I'm going to go with Mr. Cummings, it's all lost. Let me ask you again, 30-second real quick, then I can bring Conor Gray, Minister Fagon. You are muted, sir.
I will tell you this much from my political experience and from my playbook, my analysis that I have written all over the country, which I keep to my chest. Here is what is going to happen. Assuming, without admitting, that Charlene accepts to go as VP to Cummings, she relinquishes that seat, and that seat automatically goes to the opposition. Either ways you put it, I don't care. It can be Unity Party, it can be Liberty Party, it goes to the opposition. Fair enough, she loses there. Now, in the party, if nobody stays with the old man, DeLong goes with the old man, and she walks away from her father's legacy, owing to the fact that it was hijacked by Betty, and she walks away from it. She walks away from the party. That also is a loss. And if she doesn't win along with Cummings, her political career is drenched. Because at the end of the day, how do you come back to appeal to Liberty partisans that, look, I didn't leave you guys? How do you come back to the Bassa people and say, I didn't leave you guys? How do you go back to your father, JMB, and say, I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking? These are factors that she is considering. If I was to ask any one of you on the panel, what are her chances? She will quicker win as representative than she will as vice president. And so I don't see it, but if it happens, that is a losing risk that Charlene will be taking. And here is why, finally, first place, second place. Moniba said, he's in turn. Tiawan said, listen to the polls today. Kumiski in fifth. If everybody is saying, and I'm not the one saying, but if everybody say you in fifth spot, you really want to take the risk of giving up your position for representatives?
Do you think it's because of the pressure that coming from Yombly that she's supporting this lady in Buchanan, District number 3? The pressure that now the people on Abla TV, they are running that ad, they are saying because of Charlene Bronsky, Jose Yima Bwaka selected Jeremiah Cohn instead of Yombly because she had a conversation with Jose Yima Bwaka. She had a conversation with Western Gap family. If you go with Yombly Kanga Lawrence, she will not deliver Bassa onto you. We will not support you. The Bazoran will rise up against you. So therefore, Jose Yuma Bwaka went with Jeremiah Kuhn, and now Charlene Bronsky, they're beating on her, and she thinks that she will not win. She must go to be VP to Cummings.
No. Nobody will hear that crap, honestly. What I think it is, if Charlene decides to run, Charlene will win because Yombly will allow her to win. Remy will allow her to win. The two of you here will allow her to win. And I will allow her to win. And that's her best chance.
Okay, very great. We'll make Fadiga last. Remy, you hear enough from Fago and myself. Talk to us, my brother.
You know, all I'm hearing is that Charlene should abandon the brilliant future in front of her, a long and arduous future that is just beginning for Ambassador Bwakais. If that is the investment you think she must make.
I'm sorry, people talking in your back. Can you shut the door if you can? I know you have people around there. The voice coming through. Okay, so go ahead. Let's manage it. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Roberto.
So let's manage it that way. But I'm trying to say all of her, they beat on Yumli. She abandoned a political future, making an investment, an uncertain investment, in Ambassador Buckeye's presidency. And I believe Charlene is a prudent person. She's a erudite counselor, a person that is reflective, someone with deep thoughts, that will not look at someone who is coming out of retirement to get a job and invest her future in that. Nobody does that. And Yumli made that first error. She was played out. You understand? Now she's going to have difficulty getting status within her party. Ability is not going to give up the fight. And you show them sitting down, but you should show the other picture where they were dancing and merrymaking all in their party regalia in Nimba. You should show that one as well. By his significant others standing by him. This is just probably when they are just gone there, whatever it is. But remember, why should I abandon my own political future for someone who is in retirement already trying to get, the last beat of his life to get a job? Why should I abandon mine that is so young and very promising? Why should I leave that for a person that does not keep promises in the first place? Ambassador Buckeye, in all due respect, let Yumli down. But Yumli probably is not as prudent as Charlene Bronskin. And I can tell you, if that girl makes it into that ballot, Liberians, especially the Bazonians, they will go with their daughter, regardless how you want to see it. If somebody want to go invest on, you take this, you lose, you take this, you lose, or some kind of card game or cocoa and miss it, that is their personal prerogative. But I think Charlene is on the right trajectory to come into politics, and you've been tipped to be a vice running mate. That is a huge political capital compared to you going run for a representative position. And let's not forget, Charlene has she has a job already. She's professional. Okay, she's professional. If she doesn't make it with Cummins, she has a private practice as a lawyer, which far exceed you being a representative. You understand? Which far exceed, she has a private practice that is also promising. Why should we be investing our future in uncertainty? You understand? What happened if number one, if you win as president, you don't control the Senate? You don't. You're just a president controlling one branch, the executive. But the legislative branch itself, the Senate, is controlled by a group of individuals that will come in there.
Thank you.
I can see people being let down a second time, and it's not going to be strange. Right away, who's going to lose? Yumli's going to lose her party. She's going to lose pro tem position, and at the same time, she's just going to start from a fresh, probably go look for a different political party.
Thank you very much, Aaron McGrath. Thank you. Fadika?
My good friend and brother, Remy Gray, nice try. But in order to discuss Grand Bassa politics, you have to take a lot of things into consideration. You have to first reflect on the complexity of the politics in Grand Bassa County and study the different intricacy and make all necessary observation before you can even decide to discuss Grand Bassa County, because it is multidimensional. We got the Nyombri, we got the Charlie Bronskin, got the Western guy feeling there, and the whole group there. So many people there, even though they may ask got the idea, Basel County got a minefield of competent individual to choose from. Yeah, it's my problem with Yombi. And on the same platform, I think I said she will make a great vice president to Mr. Cummings. And as we have seen, after they have searched, according to them, they said they had 23. They had 23 24 people individuals to choose from, but based on what we know now, it seems like they do not have anyone because they keep going back, and in a desperate act to secure a running mate, they are going everywhere. And what this is what I would say about this Yombi case. I don't say Yombi, but Charlie. Charlie has a future ahead of her. Charlie wants to be a representative. That is almost right in hindsight. She could get it overnight. It's not going to be easy because she has not been on good terms with Nyomri and Dillon, and that was also playing out. But notwithstanding, she still have 50-60% chance of becoming a representative. I'm not in the business of miracle or people rolling the dice when you see something show. So why would she want to take a gamble? Based on every poll, based on what we know, Mr. Cummings, except where he needs a miracle right now to come second to Ambassador Weah or President Weah. That is a fact. That is what we know. Something can change. Anything can change between now moving on to October. But Nyomri, I keep saying Nyomri, Charlie has a path to becoming the next representative of Grand Bassa County. Why would she want to put that on the line to be a vice president to a man that is most likely going to win? We all know it. You can choose to be delusional about it or believe in whatever you want, but she's clearly going to. He's not going to make it. So what is happening here is, I think they have put her in this very box that she have to sacrifice her political career to save what is left of the ability faction of the Liberty Party. Because she's stuck with that side, and because she was the only person on the table, when they look around, nobody, they say, you know what, you are the sacrificial lamb. Please do this for us.
But real quick, on a serious note, there's no indication that she have agreed.
I doubt that she will agree, but if she does, this is what she's faced with.
Okay, so there is no indication that she have agreed, but we should understand and we should caution ourselves that, listen, they are still in conversation. We can also say now that, Fagon, we are not hearing you, Fagon.
No, but I wanted to say to you, with all due respect, you are from the Liberty Party. Not you as in you, but Charlene is from the Liberty Party. Is Charlene leaning on the side of the Liberty Party that is with the ANC? Because if then that is the argument, then she has reasons to be there. But if the CPP travel to Nimba, you know, that's the Pythagorean theorem or something we used to joke about. It's been long now. If A is equals to B and B is equals to C, then A is equals to C. If you are not with the people, but you are at the convention, then who are you? If you didn't agree to be with the man as VP, why are you attending the convention?
No,
at the convention.
No, I beg you. Let him make a point. We'll come back to you.
No, but I have video. You're moving from there.
Fatiga, you are done. Fatiga, you are done, man. You cry too much. Don't be like Aaron Gray on the show. You crying for extra time, man.
This time, Aaron can't cry for nothing. The man, I just gave it straight. He last, anyway, I will praise him later. But again, if A is equals to B,
who is it?
And B is equals to C, then A is equals to C. If you are not a part of the Liberty Party that subscribes to the ANC CPP ticket, then why are you there? In order to be there, you got to be a member. And if you are there, you automatically become a member. And if you are there as a member, you can be a VP pick. because it's a collaboration between the two parties that make it CPP. So you can say, Adele, but I won't be part. Yes, it's possible, but you are in the runnings because you are there.
I would disagree with you, Fago. And before we get to Fadika to give him his extra time, I would disagree with you, though.
The woman there in her green, I want you.
I agree she in her green now.
And
But
Party color.
Yeah, but I agree that it's that Liberty Party color
and her
now.
chairman legally is there.
My only question I want to ask Charlene and the Liberian people, those that are watching this thing. Charlene came on air Fadika and said, I'm on no side. Not the Musa Bedete side, not the Yombli side. Right now, is Charlene telling the Liberian people she's on the Musa Bedete side?
Oh, we all know Charlene is on the Musa Bedete side. That was a politically correct statement she made, but we all know. I mean, it's clear. Charlene is not on the boycott side. That Charlene
no, wait, no. I will interrupt you now. 3 Sundays ago, Jose Human Boycott took Charlene to 8 churches. Said, this is my niece, my brother Charles Walker Bronskin's daughter. He did that. He did that, Fadika. He took her to all the churches. Well, let me finish, Fadika. Becky, let's set this thing up real quick. And he said, listen to her. She was sitting right by JMB. Are we now saying to Liberians, whom and abroad, that Charlene flipping on Jose Yuma Boyka? Oh, go ahead. Talk to me. Talk to me.
I don't think she's flipping.
You're shaking your head.
Charlie is a daughter of a renowned politician. She understands what it means to win an election. She knows the power of Ambassador Boyka. She knows his influence in Grand Bassa County. And this is a young lady that is trying to gather vote wherever. I think her predicament is this whole issue with the Liberty Party. The fact that it has split, she tried to be seen as the neutral person. But I know in the back, she's something. I won't be surprised if she get a full support or come up publicly and support. But I think what is tying her is this whole CPP stuff that the Liberty have endorsed in. This is one of the things that is actually bothering her, not really bothering her, but it has entrapped her. So she cannot come out and say, you know, I'm for this. But I know in the background, she may be doing her own thing. But here is my problem with this whole ANC/CPP thing. Look, the convention, there are a lot of things that are going on that convention. I wish we have the time to talk about it, like telling people to pay their own for their own hotel, certain people they won't pay for them. There are a lot of things that I know they are getting wrong, which put us back to where we are. That this train, they're not even trained. This hormone that they carry around to fix things will not work. Because a lot of things they have already gotten wrong. Why would Charlie want to risk being losing her representative seat over a man that is clearly going to lose, or at least come third or fourth or fifth? So if I was advising her, I don't think it's worth it. You still got your future ahead of you. You can run to be president. Charlie is a very likable lady. I follow her with friends on Facebook. I was looking at her timeline. I saw her with Yeke. I saw her with some other people. Very likable. I saw her playing soccer with the kids in the summer. I even mentioned her name on this show. That when you ask who Alexander Cummings had up there, I mentioned her name. I said she would be. But at this point,
but so up to I can say this. And let me announce it, Fadika. It will help your argument. It will help your argument. Let me announce this, Fadika. It will help you. I beg you. Seriously, Charlie, I can say this, and people will get fed with me when I say they won't. Fagon, please protect me, because I can't depend on the Sawyer man to protect me tonight. You won't.
You are protected.
But I will say this though. Yeah, I can't depend on Conor Gray, because Conor Gray will not. He will let me. Exactly, he will send me the post target. But let me say this: up to yesterday, Charlie told UP that she wasn't going to accept their request to run as vice president for Mr. Cummings.
Look at the bottom
yesterday. No, I beg you, let me get this news and let the people cost me like my papa Sam Johnson and say let it cost my left seat. Not puppy, like crazy puppy. But let me say this though. She said no. Musa Bility is still dragging her into this. She said no. Musa Bility is dragging her continuously. After Weston guy said no, I cannot leave my 85% chances of winning this Buchanan seat and taking the seat away from Jonathan Capet. Even Jonathan Capet, he maybe, he will be running as an independent candidate. His chances of winning is slim. Charlene have the chance right now to be representative of District Number 3. The UP people willing to talk to Yomli Kanga Lawrence to support Charlene. Charlene going to leave all of that to say, you know what, I am now going to serve as VP. Then what signal is sending Grand Basso? Jose Yuma Boyka took you to all the churches. You confirm to him and saying, yes, you will support that ticket. Everybody saying, there you go, Charlene. And now today, in the 11th hour, you're going to sit down and say yes. It's just conversation, folks. You say what you want to say. I'll just give you the information because I know. And I know when I say this, it's true. That Charlene said no, and they're dragging her. But maybe she's just in the convention because she's
put that picture up. There's a picture coming up, popcorn in front of him and Charlie Bronsky. For some of us that's telling him on behavior, look at the body language. There was no camaraderie in that room. I saw a group of people that a good day if you can put that picture out, they won't come and get the popcorn in front of him. The picture speaks 1,000 words. Good day if you can put that picture up. There's a picture coming saying, oh yeah, look at Charlene's face. You can hear Force Basso Tunde. You see it? No. Coming the only person understand the whole game they're playing. Look at the reaction between Madam Cummings and Charlene. And Musa Berete Maguire, check to the team and Charlie say, I'm baking you, don't put me in your team. The three I started Martin was saying, you should have phoned your person long time ago. Why you putting me in the team? Then Musa trying to text someone say, oh, you know what? My man Kun, you read his space, or why you did this to her? Charlene, look at her. Her face is in neutral. She got a real poker face. Look at the picture. No smile. No.
Man, we gotta go. But you know, in this picture, you know who I like? I like my Teresa. I like my Teresa in this picture, man. For real, the Oma is sharp. But let me bring in Conor Gray, and Conor Gray, take us home, man. This is, I know it will be a good game for you guys from CPP.
My man, ANC people playing with me with the
No, it's okay. ANC people will kill everybody tonight, no problem. I like ANC. I got some of them as my friends. But let me say this to you, Conor Gray. We don't know whether Charlene have said yes. There's not a possibility, or there is a possibility she will. We just say what we know. That up to yesterday, last night, Charlene said no, she will not accept. The chances of Charlene accepting and destroying her political career in Grand Bassa, we will be talking about it tomorrow. And again, I don't want to get into the middle, but this is concerning that you have nobody but Charlene, the only person right now that Cummings is depending on. Everybody have said no. And Charlene Bronsky, if she said no, then that's a wrap.
My brothers, there was this same euphemism.
Let everybody mute themselves. Yeah, let's give the caller a chance to speak, please.
Yeah, there was this same euphemism about Yombly. Cummings was on his knee begging for his life, and this and that. You know, all of this. Comical way of putting it. But I know it was just meant to build humor. Let me tell you something. We have up to July. There are plethora of individuals out there who are willing to just make history for themselves, to partner with any major political organization. Look,
make history, even if you know that you will not win for great. Make
only
history.
only one person will win. Only one ticket. regardless, only one ticket. But sometimes the history you make will follow you for your future. Look, I think we'll continue to downplay the fact that running for VP leaves you as a remarkable person. And it's a better sojourn than to go stand by, Ambassador Booker wins, then you start counting the chip, what you get from that victory. The most important thing to Charlene here is to salvage her father's legacy within Liberty Party. I don't think she'll put that subordinate to Ambassador winning election, Ambassador Booker winning election or Unity Party. Who does that, man? I think her father will be twisting from his grave to say, my daughter, you are the only limelight that will protect my legacy. He went under the ground complaining about Ambassador Booker, and that plays with Charlene. My father was not happy with this Ambassador Booker. He tried in his weak way to mend the fences. But you know what? It has come to the point where Charlene needs to save her father's legacy, which has to do with Liberty Party. I can say, man, let the ambassador ambition and his UP and all of that go aside. It is secondary to Charlene's ambition to salvage her father's political party. Yumble has lost that direction already. Because you know what? If it's anything, this is Charlene's father's legacy, and not matter of fact, those people disagree with her father. He went to his graveyard with unsettled scores with those two people. You understand? So Charlene has a Herculean task here to make sure she protect her father's legacy. That's more important to her. And I
Thank
can
you,
tell.
folks.
That's it.
Thank you very much, Remy Gray. Thank you very much, Fadika. Thank you, Fagon. We have to go. We have to go tomorrow. We'll be here to discuss the full issue about Charlotte Bernstein, how this came into play. Listen, folks, this is all we have for you today. Till we meet again, may God bless you. Our regards to Dr. Richardson. Dr. Richardson is attending the graduation ceremony. We wish her well. She carrying the mace. She have not sent us any photo, so we cannot upload a photo. Salamatu just got home from a long trip. We wish her well. She will be joining us. Condoleezza Rice, I think that's how they call her. Also, we'll be here having a great show tomorrow. Day number 2 of CPP convention. Understand that just follow it wherever you can catch the podcast. Follow it. I don't know how you can get it. A lot of folks are calling me Stanton Spoon. They didn't carry it. I said I don't know about it though. You can ask the CEO at the station. I really don't know. Again, let's just talk about our country. Let's talk about Liberia. Let's talk about all the political actors. It is why it is. God first. Have a good night till we meet again. May God bless our country and may God bless you. Good night.
All right, folks, this is how we love to go home. We ask that you join the team tomorrow at 8 p.m. for another great edition. Until then, my name is James Goode Flomo. Have yourself a great time.